This turn's finished.
Fuck betas, we're doing a Bloodborne podcast. Been fucking threatening this thing forever, and we might get picked up for the fall lineup. We'll see. This is just a pilot. Welcome to Yharnam. Get a little bit of that Yharnam blood for yourself. Grab yourself a contract, and grab a starting weapon. You guys, the guys that are joining me here, D4 and Temp, what starting weapon do you guys like to go for the most? What's your favorite starting weapon?
My favorite overall is probably the cane, because I'm usually more of a skill player. I don't use much strength weapons, so I usually go for the cane, but the saw cleaver is the best. So if I just want to like get through the game really quickly, I'll pick the saw cleaver, because the axe is kind of shitty in my opinion.
What do you pick the cane to like work towards for skill?
For skill, I usually go for like church pick or the
church pick.
I don't even know how to say it, the Raider Palish or whatever the fuck.
Oh yeah, that thing.
The rapier.
Where is that the lady sword, or is that no? That's a different sword. Where do you get the Raider Palish? Is that in Canehurst?
Yeah, it's in Canehurst.
That's in Canehurst. What about you, Temp? What's your favorite starting weapon? Your go-to?
My favorite is the saw cleaver, but I didn't use the saw cleaver until about halfway through my first and only run. I was using the battle axe for the first.
Good choice.
I would say the first 15 hours of gameplay, but I didn't progress for like the first 8, so you gotta do the math right. So I wasn't able to keep blood echoes and level up until my 7th or 8th hour of gameplay. I couldn't figure out how to get past the fucking werewolves.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's like an integral part. Like that intro area in Central Yharnam there, just fucking that one stupid street and block, is so well designed from a level standpoint. I can just run around in circles. I can fucking go do that area, run around, do the thing, go up the stairs, get on the bridge, stop, delete the run, start over again, play it again. It's just fucking that fun to me. Yeah. There's something so cool that happens whenever you're playing a game with intentional, amazing level design. That fucking everything changes. Hot take: Miyazaki does level design really well. But okay, hang on. I'm getting ahead of myself. I wanted to ask you both. I guess we'll start with D4 since you're the guest here. What was your first experience with Bloodborne? Like, how'd you come across it? Why did you pick it up? Why did you play it? And all that other good stuff about your first experiences with Bloodborne.
Well, I didn't even see any marketing for it. I just saw on Twitter one day someone posted a clip of them fighting Jura at the top of that rooftop, and I was like, damn, this game looks tight. What the fuck is this? And then I didn't have a PS4 at that point, so I wasn't able to play it. I was kind of bummed. I was like, damn, I want to play that. But
so this was well after release then? Yeah,
it was a few months after release.
Okay.
And then I got a PS4 in early 2016 on my birthday, and then I ended up picking it up. And yeah, then I fell in love, and I was like, yeah, this is one of my favorite games ever. It's so fucking good.
But you didn't play a bunch of other Souls games beforehand. You weren't a Souls player?
No, I tried Dark Souls 1, but I didn't dig it very much. I only got into the Souls games after Bloodborne, really.
Well, I mean, especially because of that, especially because you didn't have a background in Souls, you just got the fucking new console, and you're sitting there, why go to Bloodborne over something else?
Honestly, it was mostly the box art. The box art too is fucking badass.
It is
that dude looks sick. I want to be that dude like everyone else, and yeah.
Well, I mean,
I'm sure everyone fucking uses that shit.
Yep, that's how you're gonna look if you're playing the game, most likely. So it's a good thing you like it.
I ended up not using that, but yeah, fucking, that's what got me into wanting to play it.
You said you got a physical copy?
No, I bought it digitally.
Digitally, yeah, definitely the fucking way to go. I don't think I've bought a real hard copy of anything this console generation. I'm probably lying. I am lying. Am I lying? I don't know. I looked around to see if I was lying. I couldn't find any evidence of it. What about you, Temp? What was your first experience with Bloodborne, and why?
Mine was kind of a journey. I did not get very far I played it for like 10 hours, but I didn't get very far, right? So, before I even bought the game, I was in like a game drought. I think it's been a long time, but I want to say this was right after some months after I finished Metal Gear Solid 5, and I tried Fallout 4 and I hated it. So I'm like, man, it would be nice, because work is always stressful, by the way, but it was stressful then too. And I'm like, it would be really nice to have a good game. I have not played a good game for so long. I feel like all I play is fighting games, which is still really honestly the case. But so I went to Best Buy and I just browsed. I mean, that I sometimes you find something cool. I like to do it with movies more so than games, but
yeah,
I saw Bloodborne for $34.99, I think. So I'm like, you know what? I've heard great things. Eris. Let's play it. And then I got fucking bodied so bad by two stupid ass fucking dumb werewolves. And
that will happen.
And Down 4 was in the background saying, dude, you just gotta keep pushing, man. And finally, I was just like, fuck this stupid game. I got better things to do. So fast forward, maybe a year later, my coworker was said he was into Souls. I'm like, well, I have Bloodborne. Do you want to borrow Bloodborne? And he's like, yeah, sure. And he borrowed it, and he got past the werewolves in 2 seconds, right? So he gave it back to me and said, listen, I just bought it, right? I'm going to give it back to you. You need to play this. This is a very good game. Don't beat yourself up for wasting 10 hours of your life not getting past the two stupid werewolves. It wasn't your fault. The game is trying to fuck you. There's a method to it. It wasn't you. It was just your methodology was wrong. Yep. He told me what to do. I ran past the werewolves. I've loved the game ever since.
Loved. See, that's the thing. I never got a really good judge on how much you actually liked this game. Because, I mean, like me and D4 are pretty outspoken about our nerdery as far as Bloodborne goes. We will fucking interrupt any conversation anywhere on any chat to talk about Bloodborne. And we ought to do.
Love might have been a strong word, maybe. I do like the game a lot. I definitely...
I knew it.
And me and Down 4 talked about this a couple of times about what makes Bloodborne endearing. And we definitely have different perspectives on that. That'll be fun to talk about, I guess, in a little while from right now. But I do like the game a lot. And I really wanted a nice Metroidvania, which, God, the last Metroidvania I played wasn't even a Metroidvania. It was Borderlands. The Borderlands series is the last thing I've really played that felt like an action RPG, and I missed that so much. But yeah, I like the game a lot, though. I don't think I like it as much as you two. But I don't think I played it correctly. You guys, I think, I understood the mechanics in a way that I did not. I kind of janked my way through the game. My fundamentals were always crap, and because it worked, I never bothered learning anything else. So I think you guys had better experience. I think you guys did more shit than I did. I didn't do the chalice bosses. Spoiler alert for our audience.
I sure as shit didn't do that shit. Not for a really long time. And I don't even know if I've ever done all of the chalice bosses. I don't think I've done all the chalice bosses.
But that's the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot of shit I never actually did in the game because, quite frankly, I was beating it to move on. There were other things on the horizon. I want to say Injustice 2 was coming out in a month or so. I'm like, all right, we got to get this shit out of the way. So I beat it as fast as I could. I think it's all kind of the timeline's a mess in my brain, but I
know you were stuck on Yahar Gul for a while, and then you.
I don't even know what that is, so I believe.
Yeah.
So I think it sounds correct. Yes. Oh no, yeah, that's the one where after you defeat the turtle, right?
Turtle. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I was stuck there for a good healthy while.
That reminds me. I was going to do a list of shit we're going to do at the top of this episode. So I might just splice this back in the thing, but if I don't and you're hearing it in order, fuck off. I got lazy. We're going to... Man, there's so many fucking things you can talk about in this game, but I think we've got a tight beat of topics to talk about here. I do. These other guys do. Fucking D4, I don't know what he's doing. But we're also gonna play some kind of a Bloodborne trivia game. When in Bloodborne. These two are gonna play it because I put it together, and that would just be, ban the testers. I can't play it. It's gonna be fun, and somebody's gonna get bodied, and I really hope that the person that gets bodied. I hope nobody gets bodied. I hope it's somewhat even. I did a lot of things to try to make this game as fair as I could because I know Temp is not as much of a in the bag fanboy as D4 is. in me, but I don't know. I think there's some competition to be had there. Temp, you said something that is a really interesting thing about Souls games in general, but it's especially true of Bloodborne as well. You said that you didn't play the game right.
Oh, yes.
And, like, that is a thing that is often said about these games. There's a right way to fucking play them. You said that I played it right. I didn't play this game right. I played this game the wrongest way that you could ever possibly play it, because I watched so many... I spent fucking years watching Bloodborne streams before I ever had to play it myself.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. I was a really late PS4 adopter. I got the
That's
Xbox.
right. I forgot about that myself.
Check your lore. Good lord, dude. I was playing Killer Instinct and it was fun, but I didn't get to play Bloodborne because of it. And finally, the time came around. It was just like, fuck it, this is the one. And I got a PS4. I got Bloodborne. How long ago was that?
It's gotta be a little over a year.
Yeah,
I feel like it was around the time you started playing. No, you got Street Fighter afterwards, but I remember the conversations leading up to you getting the PS4 pretty clearly.
Would you say that was about a year ago? I think maybe a little less. I don't know, something like that.
Well, you played Injustice 2 on Xbox, so I'm thinking 2018.
Yeah, I was too.
It was definitely 2018.
We talked about it on the Discord, and the Discord's only been around for like a little over a year.
It's been fucking 16 years, and I've played Bloodborne since then. I have played through the game at least 10 times. Which, I mean, I'm this is not a flex. Okay, listen, this is just fucking, it's what I do. And that's one of the biggest things why I like about Bloodborne, man, is, this fucking thing about it to where you can turn your brain off almost completely. It's just a fun exercise. Me and Tim's talked about it, being a little bit like playing an instrument and stuff like that. And it's true. It has some of the same stuff. And fighting games have that too. And Bloodborne does that so fucking well.
It's also like the perfect podcast game. You can just play it and put it on podcast, or I listen to many Warrior Shrines just playing it.
Because that's the only way to get through one of those.
I mean, speaking of Down 4, I think it's great for prog rock as well. Like, you're trying to listen to catch up on prog albums. It links together so well.
Dude, yeah, like there was I recorded like a playthrough and I listened to like some weird like 1980s like Japanese like fucking jazz shit and like just super weird shit, but it worked so well. Like it was like the best time playing it. So yeah, that's totally true.
There was another thing that popped up there for a second I wanted to touch on, which was fundamentals. I know it's the case for me and for Tip. We've got some deep fundamentals in other very Bloodborne related and similar games. But I don't know about you, D4. Like, is there like obviously like me and Tip, I'm talking mostly about Symphony of the Night and that sort of stuff. And it's a opinion I still hold now, and it's not going to go away because it's the fucking truth. Bloodborne is, one of the better Castlevania games you can play. It is a Castlevania game, though. Like, fucking top to bottom. If we ever do another episode on one of these, I'm going to do that. I'm going to go and do a direct A-B comparison of shit that's identical in both. And it's a big list, let me tell you. And it's not just the fucking, tight pants and Victorian dudes and whatever. But yeah, Symphony of the Night is so similar to this stuff. Those Metroidvanias in general, like Tip was saying, but you D4. What was your fundamentals, if any, that you think Bloodborne capitalized on?
Like previous games I've played, like before this, or
something that scratched a similar itch to Bloodborne. You think? Or was Bloodborne the first?
Bloodborne might have been the first, honestly. Like I haven't, other than like fighting games and stuff. Like it's similar in those ways, somewhat. But no, this is like pretty much like the first. Like I've played like Contra and shit, but not like. I've never played, like, I played Castlevanias before, but not, like, all the way through. And I have played Symphony of the Night afterwards. It was kind of like an opposite Tim situation with Bloodborne, where, like, Tim's like, dude, you gotta play Symphony of the Night, and then I play it and I get stuck on some part, and I don't go back to it. I still need to finish it, but I can definitely see the similarities with Symphony.
That and Super Metroid 2. I think both of those would be... those are both such good games.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Were there any like Metroidvanias that you played and liked before Bloodborne that you can remember, D4? Any Metroidvanias?
I mean, I played, like, I don't remember which Castlevania. Like, there was a Nintendo 64 one, like that fucking weird one, like the 3D one, and...
oh, God.
Game was so trash.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
it was weird.
Well, there was two. There was Castlevania 64 and Castlevania Curse of the Moon, I think the second one was.
It was the one with, like, the wolf on it. I
think that was Curse of the Moon.
Okay, I didn't play that one.
Yeah, me neither, because no one should. I don't even think that Konami played it. Because it was buggy and all this shit from what I can remember. Like that thing was, back when Konami made video games. So maybe that's part of it too. Like there's always a thing about these games that, like, in my opinion, as far as Metroidvanias go and RPGs, they can work the same way. Like people get fucking crazy over like Final Fantasy and shit. For me, the first game that did that was Symphony of the Night. And in just the exact same way that I play Bloodborne, I can play Symphony of the Night. Just chill out, put something on, music, a podcast, whatever, and just go through the fucking castle wrecking shit. And it's fucking fun as hell. And so Bloodborne was like a really easy transition. I do feel like I was oddly primed for it. Like I didn't really have a chance. But like I said, I spent years watching Bloodborne. People, like a lot of people playing Bloodborne streams. I had Bloodborne streams on almost all the time because I was doing a lot of work that wasn't like audio related. Unfortunately, I'm doing a lot of audio related now work, and you can't do that shit. It's one of the biggest. I hate that shit. I miss it a lot. Podcasts, anything, I'm so behind all that shit. But I could do the same thing with Symphony of the Night. I did it with this game, and I was doing it watching Bloodborne streams. But that first week or so that I picked up the game, I tried playing it for the first time after watching it so much, and that's what I meant about playing it right, because I knew what to do. I knew where you were supposed to go, what you needed to get, generally speaking, which I think most Souls players and whatnot would say that's not playing it right. That's you're missing a big thing, and they're right. I agree. But I think what surprised me the most was, after seeing it for so long, how fucking fun the gameplay really is. How strong the combat is. How awesome it feels going through awesome level design like this game has, and just the locations in general and all this shit. Like you can see it. But it is a really, really different experience to actually play it, for me anyway.
I'd agree.
And like a much better experience playing it, in my opinion, than it was just watching it. It's sick to watch. It's a fucking great game to look at, obviously. Like, it's a fucking gorgeous fucking video game with crazy art direction that's so sharp and specific, makes you want to fucking slap your dog. It's amazing. But I was going to ask Temp, like, what other games, like I said, you did Symphony of the Night. Was there any other games like that where you feel like you had some Bloodborne fundamentals going into the game?
There were games where the experience was like that. Not so much the game itself, but I would say probably the first game that really pulled me into that sort of, like, that trance you get into when you get into an explorative game. For me, it was Final Fantasy VI, which to me is still the best game ever made. Quest for Glory 4 is a close second. Sometimes, it depends. Thursday, I like Quest for Glory 4 better. Friday, I like Final Fantasy 6 better. But, just the grind, I guess, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
And, God, like, both, I guess, with Symphony of the Night, Final Fantasy 6, and to a lesser extent, Bloodborne, what all three of those games have in common is if you put in the work, crazy cool shit can happen, and, it becomes a different game. That's probably, we won't get to criticisms yet, but that might be my one thing I've always been critical about with Bloodborne, is where the grind didn't really pay off like I hoped it would.
Yeah.
And that's okay. That's all right. I remember Down 4 said, "So, have you beat Ligarius yet?" And I think I said something along the points of, what's the point? What do I get for it? Blood echoes? And then down 4 just got really depressed.
Yeah, it's such a weird question to ask in context. Like I get it.
It's just going to give me blood echoes. Like, why do I want more blood echoes? What's the point? Lagares can beat himself.
That is like, it's a question that kind of undoes Souls games, I think.
It's deeply philosophical and it's very personal. It is.
And I think that it's intentional. Like, I think there's a lot about that is super intentional with Miyazaki. Like, to put the player in positions where they are having to question themselves, why are they doing this? And that's something that people should do. It's part of critical thinking. And not being a fucking dumb moron is just doing shit because you've done shit. You kind of get to the point in this game, in this game and other Souls games, where it's like, so much of these games are bosses. Like, they are bosses. That's like how the games progress. That's what you do. You go fucking kill bosses to get to the next boss, to get to the next boss, to get to New Game Plus, where you kill them all again. That's pretty much what the game is. But there's almost, I think there is at least double the amount of bosses, if not more, that are not required. Is that right in Bloodborne?
Yeah, that's definitely true.
I don't know. That's crazy.
There's a very few amount that are actually required. There's like 8 or something. It's a very small number.
And it's interesting because you do get to that point to like, why? Why would I go and do this optional boss since it's optional? Why don't I just run through Death's Chamber in Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest, if I don't have to fight him? You can just fucking walk through. But it is a really interesting thing that it kind of makes you ask, and kind of makes you wonder, and kind of makes you, in my opinion, those things are things that make you more invested in the game. It kind of brings you in and makes you more invested. Honestly, decisions like that, and that's a whole other a topic, but
something that like a lot of players don't realize, like at first, is that you can just run past a lot of the enemies.
Oh, definitely.
So, like you get stuck on the werewolves like on the bridge, but if you time it right, you can just run past them and like find the lamp and shit.
It's stuff like this where the game is will ask you questions as the player, and in games like Bloodborne that do it really well, interestingly, I find they make me a lot more invested in the game than 90% of game stories will. Listen, there's plenty of games out there with fucking sick, amazing, gripping stories that really pull you in, but there's not a lot of games I feel that pull you in like Miyazaki games do, like Souls games do. And they pull you in a completely different way. Yeah.
Part of it's like, for me, it's just like seeing like what boss am I going to find next? Like what location am I going to go to? Like what weird shit is going to be in this? Like there's going to be traps and fucking shortcuts and shit and you have to explore. And that's what, like, I'm glad I didn't get spoiled on like any Bloodborne boss or like any Dark Souls bosses, because it's like, that's the best experience, is just going in fresh. And
yeah, that's playing it right, I'm pretty sure, is the consensus, and I would agree. I haven't done that yet. I just picked up Sekiro, not played it as much as I would want to. I played it just a little bit, tempted to. And I'm kind of enjoying all that shit for the first time now, but I haven't gotten to the point to where it's really taken hold. And I don't know if it will, because I'm not reading like reviews or watching other people play it, or I'm not doing any of that shit. It's just fucking me and my grappling hook against the world in that game, and I'm hoping to find some taste of that experience that people talk about with Souls games. And I think I will. I'm pretty confident that I will. I just have to keep playing it. But that'll be the first time I play a Souls type game, FromSoft game, quote, right.
That's the thing though. It's like what you guys were talking about earlier though. It's like me myself, like the first playthrough, like I was so shitty. Like I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Like I kind of just beat it to beat it, like Tim did. But then my second playthrough, I'm like, okay, I have more knowledge of. I'm gonna try and find some more things. So I didn't like fucking find everything. I didn't find Caners by myself. Like I had to look that.
Oh
shit
yeah, totally.
It's like I still like fucking. I started trying new weapons, and I had a way better experience. I got better at the game, and then I got buff blood gems from the Chalice dungeons and shit. And then it's like I just fucking like playing it because it's so sick. Like that was the whole experience for me after the first playthrough. After
the first playthrough, that's the thing, and that ties back into what I was saying about getting you invested.
Yeah, I feel like part of the playthrough is like it's not playing it the first time. It's like getting good and like playing it more and more and like it's a way to experience a game unlike others where you just like beat it once and you're done with it.
Yeah, and that's the thing, especially through that first playthrough, you're like, you're kind of playing to beat the game.
Yeah.
And that's not really, I mean, you can do that, obviously, in Bloodborne games, but that's not really how they're set up, and that's not really the questions you should be asking, like, what do I have to do to beat the game? That's not really where the game opens up. That's not where the game's true value lies, I think. And when you go back and you do it a second run, you start to feel a little bit more invested, and you take more agency in what you're doing, and it's like, well, what if I did this instead? Like, what if I'm not just bolting to the next boss to get to the end of the game? Maybe I can do this over here. Like, maybe I'll go kill this boss. I know it's not required, but maybe, like, whatever. And just these stupid questions that are going on in your head, and this sense of discovery, I feel is something that's really, really cool about this game and a bunch of other Souls games, and I wish other games did more.
Yeah, definitely.
Rather than just leading you down a linear path with a story and whatnot. Like, listen, I'm not going to sit here and bash fucking Uncharted or whatever, Last of Us, all these other games, but there is something really different feeling whenever you accomplish something in a game like Bloodborne than you do in those games, because those games are, they are kind of like an attraction, like a theme park ride, where you do feel that you're being pulled along a track a lot of the time, and it's okay. Yeah. It's okay. It's like, that's nothing wrong with that. It's just a different experience, and you can have both. Variety is good.
That's what makes Symphony of the Night great. Symphony of the Night is
oh my god,
because I want to be. It's debatable whether it's a spoiler or not, but I'm not, because I want to play it safe anyway, just because.
How many years has it been?
I like it better not knowing, but the second half of Symphony of the Night is a little different from the first half, right? But you don't get that second half unless you meet very specific conditions. Like, that's really where I feel like the parallel is the strongest. Like, when you get to the second half of Symphony of the Night, you feel so privileged. Like, you walk through the new dungeons and you're thinking, wow, stupid people weren't allowed to see this. I'm only here because I had to do the work, and I had to find the silver ring and the gold ring and the spike armor. So, like, that's kind of what makes Souls games great, or at least Bloodborne. I never played the Souls games, but at first for me, it was completely a Moby Dick thing. It's like, I gotta fuck up that white whale. Every boss was
absolutely.
that mentality.
Yeah.
We're all Ahab when we do our first playthrough, and that's the only one I did, but it grows into I'm on top of the summit now. I get to see what everything looks like from on top.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you will fight fish in this game. You will fight many fish and other assorted seafood. It's what I fucking always say about, Japan likes their seafood. It's a thing. It's okay. It's cool. We know this. There's a lot of seafood in this video game.
I bet the world of Bloodborne smells really bad. I've never smelled it with my eyes, like, more than Bloodborne. Like, especially when those wagons with, like, the carcass snakes coming out of them.
He wears a mask for a reason.
Yeah. Man. Oh, fuck. Yeah, plague mask everywhere. No,
I didn't know what gray smelled like till that game, but yeah.
No, now you just have me thinking. I didn't really think about the smells in Bloodborne until now. Like, obviously, there is a lot of fishy seafood bullshit to smell, but there's also just... Even, like, normal people probably smell like Jesus,
pretty awful,
like those, like the dogs running around chasing you. Those things, you can smell the mange and shit on those things. And we're not even talking about, like, the decaying horses that are laying down fucking on the road everywhere and all this other bullshit. Like, man, there's chamber pots around here too. I never went around looking for chamber pots. I should do that sometime. There's gotta be chamber pots.
You know what probably really smells bad? That's fucking doll, dude. Like, if you put that doll under a black light, it's probably going to blind you.
Oh,
maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. That's where your mind goes. I wasn't even fucking thinking about the doll.
Poor Gearman. Anyway, yeah.
Poor Gearman. Okay, that's one perspective you can take, yeah. That's another fun thing about Bloodborne, man. It's, how do you feel about this motherfucker? Do you think he's a skeevy old fuck? Or do you think he's, a tragedy?
I think he's tragic. A tragic character.
Well, it's almost an unfair question, because the secret dialogues you get in the dream, I never got, despite all my effort. So it's almost an unfair question, because, like, Gearman opened up to maybe one of you guys. He didn't open up to me. He didn't tell me what was going on. So of course I thought he was a douchebag.
That's another really fun thing about just like in a nutshell. A little like in a nutshell thing about Souls games and Bloodborne specifically. Like, I fucked up. At least, I think my first 2 playthroughs, I fucked up and, like, accidentally hit Gehrman too much in the dream, and so he disappears. And he never fucking comes back.
Oh, really?
For the rest of the
I thought
game.
He came back.
He didn't for me. He was pissed. He was out. Until like, the boss fight later on.
I've accidentally, like, clicked on him, and I always, like, hit him on accident. I'm like, oh, whoops, well, whatever.
Yeah, I did that shit. I just did it too much because I was still trying to learn how to play the game, and I sucked. And you can put that controller down in that game, and
like, I shoot all the time, like, on accident.
Dude misfires all the time in that game. It's crazy. It's so sensitive. And I do that shit to the doll. I've done that shit to Eileen, which...
Oh, shit.
That's usually, like, where I'm like, run over, I have to restart. Because she fucks me up really bad, and I just want to keep Eileen around because she's a cool chick, and I like her a lot.
Eileen is tight.
Yeah, I never finished the Ligarius cutscene because I didn't want to. I didn't want anyone to die, so I was just like, no, I'm just not going to go back.
Which
Wait a minute, which cutscene?
After you beat Ligarius and you bring the guy, you talk to the guy and go back to the.
I should have did that.
Oh, Alfred?
It's like the best part.
Dude.
Nah, man, we don't need to cause shit.
Dude, that's the best part.
No, listen. There's another ending.
I mean, I YouTubed it, but yeah.
It's the most anime shit, yeah.
There's another ending, man. I don't know if you know this, but she's a vampire.
Oh.
Yeah, she's immortal.
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah. She's an immortal vampire of the night. Castlevania. Listen, both of you guys. At what point in your first playthroughs where you remember, like, feeling convinced? Like, okay, now I am enjoying this game, and I'm here. Your Eureka moment.
Mine was the first time I fought Vicar Amelia. I was like, up until that point, you fight, like, what, Gascoigne, and then, what's the second boss? Like,
you can fight the Cleric Beast.
Bloodstart Beast. Yeah, Cleric Beast. Like, I fought those, and then you get to Vicar Amelia, though, and this giant fucking wolf thing. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, the previous bosses were tight, but this is, like, on another level.
Just
like,
squealing her ass off the whole fight.
Yeah. Just fucking rampage. Like,
boy.
Yeah, I love that shit. That was so surprising to me in the sickest fucking cutscene where she just, like, bursts open and blood splats the wall. And, like, beating her was, like, so sick to me because it took a while. It took me, like, an hour or so. And then I was like, damn, this is the sickest shit. Like, I'm into this game now.
What about for you, Tim? Do you have a moment like that? You talked about the 2 dogs.
Yeah,
You're talking about the 2 dogs on the bridge, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, the dogs are okay, I guess, but I think, like, when did I realize, like, this is, like, something crazy? Vicar Amelia was a big moment, but in a different way. Like, like, that wins the Oscar for something else. But that didn't really say much about the game. I just thought she was a really cool boss. I think for Down 4 especially, because you played the game pretty early in its life still. Like, I had an idea that there was stuff like that ahead. I knew the game was all about crazy bosses, but I think for me, when I realized the game wasn't fucking around, is when I got to, how do I pronounce this right? Bergenworth.
So, dude, listen, there's going to be some pronunciations in this podcast.
I already fucking, my main weapon I can't pronounce. Like,
it's okay.
Yeah. I got to Bergenworth, and I'm just like, man, I'm so buff. And then I got bodied by this glowing tentacle thing in like one hit. And I'm like, all right, fine, dude. Learning curve.
The fucking plant?
No, I think it's the plant's friend.
Centipede?
He kind of looks like a Dr. Seuss character. No, not the centipede. It's
not the bug. Oh, the alien?
The long ass nose. Maybe.
It like sucks your head.
Yeah.
Those things look like they have command throws. Those dudes.
Yeah, they are grabs, dude. They do have command.
Dude, I did not neutral jump. I got fucked so bad.
You gotta get on stairs, dude. They can't throw you on stairs.
Yeah, man, that's the
secret tech.
They're also only weak to thrust. Like, it's bullshit.
Oh yeah, that's true too.
Like, how am I supposed to know that though? Like,
you're not. Like, it's one of those things. Like, you just have to fucking figure it out or Google it, and that's what you're gonna do.
I just, I feel like that's when the game was like, listen, you think you're good, but you're not shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh man, I'm going to have to get swole if I want to make it in this world. And I kind of did, yeah.
No, yeah, I'm just saying, like, that's exactly what happens in Symphony of the Night when you get to that second half. Like, you're like, I just fucking kicked everybody's ass. Fucking, what's his name? Richter bodied that bitch, and that dude was like an alpha Belmont. I think you beat fucking whatever else, and it's like...
I think canon, he's the strongest Belmont in canon, actually, yeah.
He's the second strongest in canon, sir.
Really? Who's the first?
Julius came back and lapped him.
Oh, whatever.
In his old ass age. And it's really great because that guy never got his own video game. Thanks, Konami. It's fun to think about now. I used to have another YouTube channel where I was a Castlevania YouTuber. And I played these games all fucking day. I think I might have 2 full Symphony of the Night playthroughs on that channel. I think. I love me some fucking Castlevania. And Castlevania is very relevant here. Julius is tight though, dude. But I think Julius is unfair advantage because Richter was also one of the youngest active Belmonts. Julius is like one of the oldest active Belmonts. So
okay.
I think that was the matchup. And Julius was like fucking 50 or some shit in the last game that he was actually in. And that dude was a fucking badass after all that time. Belmonts don't usually...
So it's like a Gohan situation, basically. If Gohan had got off his ass, he would have been the strongest, but he didn't do shit, so... Yes.
Richter is a character that, like, if... I would love to make another fucking Castlevania game starring Richter. Or about Richter. I'll put it that way. Not starring him, about him. I could do so much fucking fanfic bullshit about Richter because he might be the most interesting Belmont. He's definitely one of them, easily. He might be the most interesting because he was, like you said, the most powerful Belmont for a fucking long-ass time. And Julius didn't come around until, like, in the lore, 1999. Like in Castlevania lore, so that's way later. So there's a fuck ton of Belmonts that came before that were really fucking buff, and Richter was the buffest, and he was young. He was like in his 20s and shit whenever he was slaying Dracula ass. But what's cool about Richter is that after that whole shit, Symphony of the Night and all that, and he got fucked up by Shaft. Shaft is a great name for a character, isn't it?
Yeah. Man, it aged badly.
It did not age well. But like that was the hook of Symphony of the Night. One of the biggest plot points was Shaft like fucked with Richter's head and made him evil. And that's why you had to fight him. And after that, Richter was never heard or seen about ever again after that fucking fight, after Alucard saved his ass. And not only that, the Belmont lineage disappeared for a couple hundred years, maybe 100 years, if not more. And it didn't actually resurface proper until Julius. After Richter, like a fuck ton of time passed, and the whip got handed over to the Morrises to do the Dracula movie, the novel type shit and all that whatnot. Listen, this is not a Castlevania podcast.
Well, the first... it's funny.
Sorry about the fucking aside, man. That was I had that corked up in there.
The first Bloodborne boss I ever fought was not in Bloodborne. It was in Symphony of the Night. Because again, you get to the second half of the game, and like you think you're a badass.
Oh, that's what we were talking about. You're right.
Then you get bodied, and then you become a badass again. It's like, oh, I'm finally a badass again.
It is.
And then you go and fight Galamonth, which I don't know if you remember who he is, but he's a pharaoh-looking dude
one
with
is
lightning powers. He's in where the catacombs would have been. And he has the lightning shit. He's tall as fuck. He takes up almost the whole screen. Oh, actually, I can show you an image. 1 second, dude.
But I'm glad you reminded me of what was actually what we were discussing. Yeah, it's that same shit.
He fucked me up so fucking bad.
That guy. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been that frustrated at a boss that I've beaten. I've been more frustrated at bosses I haven't beaten, but never a boss that actually... God, he is so fucking hard, dude. That picture doesn't do him justice. He's fucking huge, dude. He takes up your whole TV.
He is, yeah. Like you're not even as big as his head there. What is he in the same area as that crazy ball of corpses enemy that you fight in the first half of the castle?
Yes, but he's past that in the second half.
Okay.
He's right after you fight Death, actually.
Is he really?
Yeah, Death is in the corridor in that area.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
and he talks a lot of shit.
Boy, Death does talk some good shit in Symphony of the Night. That guy cuts some promos, and he fucks you up, too. And he's laughing while he does it. Death is good. He had a good showing in that game.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Do you remember the name of that boss that I'm thinking of? The body one, the corpse one?
Oh, well, I just call him Pizza. I don't really have a name for him. He's just Pizza.
Because whenever I think about that boss, I think about the one reborn in Bloodborne. And it's like, oh, this is kind of like the same shit.
Legion is his name, by the way. I just looked it up.
Okay, that's what it was. Thank you for the lore. Lore is important here. That might be a common trope in anime shit in general. I don't have a deep lore, a deep anime fundamental shit either. So that's something that blew me up. But yeah, as soon as you fucking step out of that, into that second half of the game, we're putting it in Symphony of the Night, it's that same feeling that you were talking about whenever you went up against that thing at Bergenworth. You feel awesome, you get knocked on your ass immediately, and everything sucks again. Which is good, because it keeps you going and keeps you pushing. That's the difficulty curve, but it's a good one. It feels kind of unfair a lot of the time. It does feel like a giant drop-off, but...
Well, there's a reason for that, though, is because what, again, both those games have in common is no one tells you where to go. It's up to you. If you're not ready, that sounds like a you problem. So that's what the games treat you like an adult. It's like, this boss is really hard. Well, I want to fight the boss. It's like, okay, well, you do that. You have a great time. And that's why I love these games. That's why I think these games are great, because I love freedom. And that's what makes Lara Croft's Uncharted different. Lara Croft's Uncharted is, we expect you to get to the end of the game. We're going to get you there. If you run into some kinks on the way, we're going to iron that out for you. Because really, we want you. We don't want you to have a good game experience so much as we want you to see the end of the game, so you buy the next one. That's what's
it's like a movie. Yeah,
it is a
exactly.
Movie. It's very much a movie. If you get too far off the beaten path, don't worry. We'll nudge you back onto the tracks. It's all good, and you can kind of feel the tracks a lot of the time. But it's okay. Those are different. Whole different experiences, a whole different approach to game design and whatnot. But both are great. I do wish there was more like this one, though. That's my point I made earlier, too. But it's still true, goddammit.
Yes, like imagine if you can't watch the next episode of The Simpsons until you find out who shot Mr. Burns. Like, that's what this shit is like.
And it pulls you in, dude. If it hooks you, it obviously, that's another big thing about these games. It's divisive as shit. Some people are just like, fuck this, fuck you. I don't have time for this in my life. And frankly, this is a piece of shit. It's cheap and insulting. And
they want an easy mode.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Which
I've seen that for Sekiro too. Like recently, just like articles saying like, "Does it need an easy mode or fucking not?" It's like, what?
I haven't gotten far, but I don't feel like it's that hard. Maybe Django can correct me on that, but nothing compared to a Souls.
I've heard there is like a point where it gets really hard or something. I don't know, but
I've run into a couple of situations where I've tasted the difficulty, and I'm like, if this is this early. Boy, you gotta. It makes me worried, and it makes me be like, okay, I gotta rerun through this area a bunch of times just to practice, like hammer my shit out and get good, because I know I'm not good enough to handle this shit once it starts becoming regular. Because it's early, I've not gotten that far. That's my feelings about it, but whatever, we'll see. That game is tight though, dude. Was there anything else on that specific? Oh, I was talking about the divisiveness. It's really interesting seeing what people like Razor say about Bloodborne. He's got some very strong feelings about Bloodborne.
I didn't know that. I haven't heard his thoughts on Bloodborne.
Yeah, we've argued about it a lot.
What's his his general perspective, D4?
He said he bought the game, he tried it, he couldn't get back past Cleric Beast, so he gave up, and now he shits on it, pretty much. But it's his whole thing with not being good at games, which is...
It's the thing. There's not one skill level out there that everybody is. There's not one type of video game player everybody is. Timp's right there. Razor, he also
doesn't like how the lore is separated.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Items and stuff.
He doesn't like that approach to storytelling, it seems. Which is, again, it's fine. It's not for everyone. But... for me, that approach to storytelling is the exact same thing that we were saying before about the game kind of feeling like you're on tracks and it's a movie. The story is also not a thing where you're being led around and you feel like you're on tracks. Like, you have to go jump off the tracks and pay attention if you want to experience that story element. And there is a story element there. It doesn't really have a protagonist necessarily or anything like that, because it's not a story about a person. It's a story about the world. This world, Yharnam, and these people that made Yharnam what it is.
Participating in it, yeah.
And I think that's generally the same in Dark Souls games, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, there are like canon like characters like the fucking chosen one or whatever, but it's like they're not even mentioned in the next game. Like they don't matter to the world, pretty much.
And
this
the world
game,
is
I
what
don't know,
matters.
since we haven't gotten a sequel, but this world, I mean, you fuck everything up. So
is it too late to give a spoiler warning? I don't know. Like,
I mean,
I'll put one at the beginning. I'll just go ahead and splatter around.
People
there.
watch this without having played Bloodborne and know about it. It's hard to spoil something.
Well, I don't think we've spoiled anything yet. But I would say I'm hoping. Dude. Well, if there's a Bloodborne 2, I'd hope the final boss is actually you're the protagonist in this game. I hope he becomes a great one. I hope you have to kill him. That's what I would hope for in the next.
That begs a really interesting question, though.
Which ending did they use?
Yeah,
we
which
don't
ending?
Know.
Because
well, if you do ending 2, you're the protagonist would be the new Gearman. So either way, the only ending that doesn't work is you just wake up like an asshole and get coffee. That's the only ending where even then you can technically be the final boss. Who knows, right? So
I actually feel like that ending gets a lot of crap, but I actually like it.
I like
all three of them, honestly. I think they're all good.
I like that you wake up to the sunrise and it's like, was that real? Was that something that happened?
You just got fucking drunk on some of that Yarnum hooch, man, and you know that's what happens. You see some shit.
So what happens after that? Is it like normal? What's going on?
Everything's cool. Like, you can fucking go down the street and you can find that guy who's in the cathedral ward and he's not all crazy scary looking under the red blanket. He's just a normal dude. Trippy shit, man.
Don't drink. Gilbert or who?
He doesn't have a name, I don't think. The guy in the never mind.
He's basically a puddle. He tells you to bring the red dude, refugees into the sanctuary, but don't bring anyone shady.
He wants to be your friend.
Shady. He's super shady.
That dude's tight.
He's a puddle.
He is a
dude. I swear to God, the first playthrough I didn't even notice him. Like I never talked to him.
That is so mean.
No. It's a thing. He's kind of behind the door.
Yeah, I never noticed him. And then the next playthrough, I'm like, wait, what the fuck? Who's this dude?
It's like, I mean, I've done that with like fucking, I've had like small dogs and shit where you do that. Like, you don't hit them with the door. You just open the door and they're just chilling back there waiting for you to shut it. And they run out and spook the fuck out of you. Like, you know, it's that kind of, that's what he's doing. Okay, now that we're past the point of the show where we've kind of gotten into things, we've introed ourselves and our, you know, history with the game and how we got involved with it and whatnot. Things will probably get a little more specific from here on out. So, I mean, spoiler warning goes up even more so, obviously. But before we get to that stuff, we're going to kick that bit off with a game. We're going to play a game that I'm just going to call Win and Yarnum because I don't have a better name for it, but it's just kind of a Jeopardy type game, but not really. We got 4 categories. Our 2 contestants, Temp and D4, are going to choose from. The 4 categories are Win and Yarnum, Plague-Ridden Rats, Lore That Kills, and Chalice Dungeon RNG. Win and Yarnum refers to things seen, heard, and found in your journey through the game. Plague-Ridden Rats is category number 2. That is persons and monsters encountered during the game. Number 3, Lore That Kills. That category refers to tales, history, and theories about Yarnum's past and present that you don't actually interact with yourself in the game, you just hear about. And the 4th category is Challenge Dungeon RNG. That's just all random. Who knows what's fucking you're going to get whenever you pick that category. All questions are worth the same amount of points. They're all worth 1 point. And I suppose we should flip a coin to see who starts. We're going to go back and forth to do this. And we're going to do the classic first to perfect legend. Whoever gets to 13 first is the Bloodborne great one of this episode. I wish I had a belt or some kind of award to give you guys. A squid, maybe. Some calamari would be nice.
Dude, calamari sounds good.
But I don't have any, unfortunately, on me.
Some marinara.
Listen, I don't often use metallic currency anymore. I'm trying to find a coin. Listen,
we can pick a number 1 through 10, whoever's closest. That works, right?
Here's what we can do. Yeah, you guys pick a number between 1 and 99. And I'm going to go ahead and generate that number really quick. Okay. So when you guys have your number, let me know.
44.
72.
The winner is D4.
Interesting. What was the number?
The number was 63.
Oh, damn.
Well done, D4. Let's kick this thing off. You, sir, get to choose your category. And you have them in front of you. So don't fucking ask me.
All right, let's start off with Win and Yarnum.
Win in Yarnum. D4. How many boss fights are found in the Cathedral Ward district? So you leave Cathedral Ward, what I'm calling a district, whenever a new location name pops up on the screen. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Just Cathedral Ward.
I want to say just one.
I thought it was 2, but you're right. It's 1. Sorry. We're off to a rough start, which is, who is it?
Vicar Amelia.
Do you know who it is? It is Amelia Dat Ho. Okay, that's 1 point for that guy. D4, let me write that down. Boom. All right, Temp, you're up. Choose your category.
I will choose lore that kills.
Lore that kills. Okay, Temp,
Yep.
what function does Martyr Ligarius serve atop Canehurst Castle? What's he doing there?
He's protecting the throne room, right? And the artifacts? That's extremely open-ended, I feel like.
He does have a very specific thing that he's doing there.
He guards the spear?
Your general answer is guard and or protect.
Yes.
Listen, I'm asking. Like,
Yes, that is my final answer, Trebek.
I'm actually going to let D4 break this tie because
Judges?
I would say yeah. I would say no. Ligarius is there to keep people from entering Queen Annalise's throne room because he and all the fucking other retards hate her, and they want her to keep her isolated so she can't procreate. So so he is like keeping her segregated and ostracized and imprisoned. Would you give him the point for that or not?
I mean, you said artifacts, but I said cheating artifacts.
He says
He's protecting the spear.
That's why I said protecting and or defending.
I'm going to say no. I think once I said spear, I fucked myself. I should have kept it vague.
I don't think that the reason why I said those is I don't think that protecting and defending was really the thing that was going on.
I just remember he sits in front of something.
No, he does. He sits in front of the throne room. And she's locked in the throne room. So nobody can fucking get in there.
There are shit like artifacts in there and shit, like statues.
Oh, there are, yeah. There's a fuck ton of shit in there. You're not wrong. It is a cave of wonders. It's just, that's not what he's there about.
But he's not like the kids aren't going to get my artifacts. Like, he actually has a permit. So. Okay.
Yeah,
Let's just move along now.
D4, you're up. What category would you like, sir?
Just going from top to bottom, plague-ridden rats.
Plague-ridden rats. Why are you going from top to bottom? Man, you're boring.
I don't know, man.
What did you say? Plague-ridden rats. How many hunter enemies are found inside Bergenworth?
Just Bergenworth? Just
Bergenworth. Inside...
school?
Yes, just the school.
Fucking one?
1 is the answer.
Yes. Okay.
Well done.
I thought there might be 2, but no.
It was 1. Temp has yet to get on the board.
Also, it was Yuri, I think.
Don't fucking pop off.
What? No, I had to clarify.
Don't rub it in. Fucking... Whatever. Temp, you're up. Take a swing. What category you like?
I'm going to try lore that kills again.
Lore that... Interesting strategy. If at first you don't succeed, go right back for seconds.
I was just going to say that question was pretty hard. Like the first one, I was surprised.
Wait, what would you say? You said lore. Okay. Lore that kills. Tip. Where were the first remnants of the Ancient Ones found in or around Yharnam? In the whole Yharnam area, which is all the locations around in Bloodborne. All the whole shit. Where was the first remnants and knowledge and information and all that stuff found first about the Ancient Ones, the Great Ones?
I feel like there's a geographical dimension here, but they found it in the tomb underneath Yharnam, I thought, which, because they had to burn that down, that's going to be old Yharnam now? So I feel like they found the ancient, or the blood at least, underneath old Yharnam.
I am going to, yes, I'm going to give it to you. It is in the Chalice Dungeons.
Okay, all right.
The big underground, all that shit. Which I don't think that had anything to do with the old Yharnam situation. I mean, it was there, but like it was a different thing. But yeah, no, you were.
It was right.
Yeah, he was right. I was actually surprised whenever I put that question on there. I was like, I don't know if Tim's going to be able to get that if he got it, and you got it. Well done.
I know a lot about the blood stuff. The blood stuff I'm probably most familiar with.
You're into blood, huh? I see how it is.
A little bit.
You're a Scarlet player.
Yeah, you do play Scarlet.
Starting to add up. D4 category, sir.
Chalice Dungeon RNG.
Ooh. D4. Which boss does Gehrman have a very close relationship with?
Maria.
Maria is correct.
I mean, you can also say the moon presence, though, right?
That's true. Damn.
Well,
did you say relationship?
Yeah, I don't think that he has the same tightness to the moon presence as he did with Maria, which, Tip, you would know if you played the DLC,
You
sir.
said relationship, though, and they have a business relationship, a very important one.
Moon presence is more like he's more like a prisoner, and he's
Well, I
like
mean, that's a relationship, though. I mean, anyway, semantics, yeah.
Are you familiar with the relationship there between?
Are we
Gehrman?
talking about specifically like I don't know, like an intimate relationship or a romantic relationship or?
Why haven't you played the DLC, dude? This would make this way easier.
That's why. Anyway, yes, go on. I agree.
That was honestly a good point, though. Like, I didn't even think about the moon presence.
I would still argue definitely that he had a closer relationship with Maria. You should play the DLC, Temp, and find out why. It is interesting and cool. It might even be kind of anime.
It's very anime. You would like
I don't know
Maria.
how Temp feels about that. Did you?
I'm sure I'm a fan.
That was D4's point. So there are 3. Yes, Temp, it was a romantic relationship. And Temp's up. So what's your category, sir?
Take moon presence for 500.
No.
Yeah, Plague Ridden Rats. I'll take Plague Ridden Rats.
Okay, I like Plague Ridden. Plague Ridden Rats! That should have been one of the categories. Just say a quote, and if it makes me laugh, you get a point. Next time, tune in for part 2. It's one of my favorite questions. Temp. Mikolash is a bitch. Where do you fight him?
You fight him in the Nightmare.
It's true. I'll take that. You fight him in the Nightmare.
Good.
Temp's coming. He's fucking challenging you from the rear, dude. He's coming at you. Right now it is 2-3. Man, Mikolash is a bitch.
He's a bitch.
Well, was that actually the answer you were looking for, or did you want like the name of the school and shit?
No. Yeah, it's the Nightmare. The Nightmare is the important part of that whole place. That's what matters. It's not important.
The Nightmare or Menzies would work.
D4s. Choose your category, sir.
I'll take Lore That Kills.
Lore That Kills. Is there any benefit from inviting the prostitute to Cathedral Ward's shelter?
Fuck. She gives you a vial of her blood that will heal your to full or some shit, I think. And
this is
get the cord.
I need a yes or no answer, sir.
Oh, I didn't have to explain it? Yes.
I mean, no, I did want you to specify as much as you can, but the important part is the yes or no. Yes, you are correct. She gives you some of her blood, but more importantly, you get a piece of the cord from her. Which is
the alien.
Yep. Which is when the X-Files shit starts up.
And it's the most fucked up thing in the game. I think, at least. One of the most.
You're not wrong. There's a lot of fucked up things in this game, and it's kind of it's funny and sad that something can compete with that. There's more than one shit like that in the game. Tip, what's your category?
Let's do When in Yarnum.
When in Yarnum. Fill in the blank of this quote. You'll become one of blank sooner or later. What will you become one of?
Damn. You hold on.
I can try. Are you going to Google over there? You motherfucker.
No.
I thought it would be funny if I tried to
it down to 2. But they're both super vague, but I don't know what else.
If I tried... Like I said, as long as you can describe it acceptably, I'll take the answer.
I can't. If I'm going to say you'll become one of them sooner or later.
That is the quote. You're right.
What? Really?
Yes, it is.
Fuck, I was going to say you're going to become one of us sooner or later. That was my backup. But I'm
Those
like,
are
no,
two very
no one doesn't
different
want anyone to
pronouns.
become one of us. That's
Yeah. Well done. No, yeah, you nailed it. Do you know who said that? Don't worry, you're not going to fail the question if you don't know it.
Is it not Mikolash?
It is not
No.
Mikolash.
Okay, interesting. I want to get a beer.
You know who it is, D4?
Yeah, Gascoigne.
Of course it is.
Honestly, I was like thinking, like, what does he say there? I was like, does he say a beast or? But I did think it was you'll become one of them.
I would have taken Beast or them because
It's
I
a
mean
bunch
that is
of
what he says. Beast all over the shop. You'll become one of them sooner or later. And that's what I was gonna fucking do. I want to do that next time. If there's a quote, I'm gonna say it with a shitty accent
Do it.
because I think that would actually help jog some memories, even if I do it really badly.
He has such a sick voice.
He does have a fucking sick voice. I wish that guy was a guest character.
He's got that breath and shit. Like he turns around, and he sees fucking.
He's got the cool gauze over his eyes for God knows what reason. Because
He doesn't have to
Miyazaki
see
wants
shit.
it that way. Miyazaki likes his eyes covered on characters. It happens a lot.
There's a lot of people in Bloodborne who cover their eyes.
It's not just Bloodborne; it's Souls too, and
true.
Demon Souls. And I
I'm
was
back.
like, you came back just in time. We were talking about how in Souls games Miyazaki likes to have a bunch of characters with their eyes wrapped up with wraps over their eyes.
Yeah, I can see that.
And Father Gascoigne was who said this quote that you knocked out of the park, you crushed. And he also has his eyes covered up. I was looking for it in Sekiro because it's such a fucking giant Miyazaki thing. I already found it.
Damn.
Didn't take long. Oh, there we go. We're good. Check that off. Okay. That was Timp's point. Timp got the point. So now we are on to D4. What's your category?
I'll choose the Chalice Dungeon RNG again.
Chalice Dungeon RNG. What tentacle-loving pervert inspired Bloodborne's cosmic horror?
Oh, come on.
That's like a baby question.
Hey, there's baby questions in here. You just have to get lucky.
Yeah, Lovecraft.
It is Lovecraft.
Damn, that was sick.
How was that sick? That took no execution at all.
Dude, it took all my willpower to fucking remember that.
I think the random ENG box has probably the biggest ratio of easier questions.
Okay.
For future reference. I don't want to. I'm not trying to help you guys, but maybe. Okay, score is 3-5. Tip, you're up. What is your category, sir?
I'll take Chalice Dungeon RNG, please.
Oh, interesting strat.
It's gonna be some fucking obscure bullshit. What was the name of the hentai that inspired Vicar Amelia or some bullshit like that?
Does that sound like something I would even know? Listen, I think both of you guys are bigger weebs than I am.
Yeah, I'm a pretty big weeb. That's why I make fun of weebs.
I can say that. I am one. Okay, Timp.
Yeah.
Your question is... Listen, I'm being dead serious. This is completely at random here. I'm not picking these questions.
Damn, it's gonna be fucking hard.
Tip.
Yes.
Is Bloodborne a Castlevania game?
If it was anyone else asking it, this would be an easy question.
This is my game.
I mean, we had a conversation so many minutes ago.
We did.
And you said the quote, Bloodborne is a Castlevania game.
I feel like you should do well with this question.
I want to say yes. I'm going to say
Good
yes.
choice. You crushed that one, dude. That was clean.
But if I feel like if I talk to someone not Django, I might have gotten that one wrong.
Well, that is not going to help you in this game. Oh, I feel like if I knew how to fucking...
I'm not even saying I disagree. I too believe Bloodborne is a Castlevania game.
If I fucking knew how to, fucking do FADCs, I could play Mortal Kombat 11 really good or some shit. It doesn't matter. We don't have FADCs. Did you like FADCs?
Oh, I love them, yeah. They were tight.
They were pretty cool. Would you stop minimizing? This other thing likes to minimize much. Okay. 4-5. He's coming at your rear, duder. You better step up your game and stop cheating. What's your category, D4?
Plague-ridden rats.
Plague-ridden rats. Yo, plague-ridden rat. Man, I love those guys. You come across a child NPC in Central Yarnum. Is her mother or father one of the game's bosses?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
It is a yeah. See, I told you there's easy questions hidden everywhere. Tim, did you know that one?
Yeah.
Okay. See, told you. All right, back over to Tim. What's your category?
Let's do one in Yarnum.
When in Yarnum. Okay. Where is the real Hunter's Workshop located?
Oh. I know they had to close it down. I know Gearman was very sad about it.
Uh-huh.
But as for... is it in Mensis?
You don't have to be exact. Just remember that I said real.
I mean, obviously it's not in the dream, but...
I said real?
Yeah, so not... Dream's not that real, so... Mensis. It's gotta be Mensis, right?
Mensis is incorrect.
Damn, I tried.
Because Mensis isn't real.
Oh, okay, yeah. Fuck.
It is the nightmare of Mensis. The workshop located D4. Do you want to? You're not getting the point for stealing it. There's no steals. But you know where it is?
Well, it's like below, like, fucking where you go up to Upper Cathedral Ward. It's like below that.
Yep.
It's like in the little tower thing.
And I would have taken either of those. I would even take in Upper Cathedral Ward because it kind of is. It's really weird. It's in the middle.
Yeah, I was not going to get that.
It's in Cathedral Ward or Upper Cathedral Ward. I would have accepted.
I think I misunderstood what Mensis is then. I thought that was the name of the school, but maybe not.
No, those Bergen.
It's the name of a school.
Well, no, this is the one because Lawrence, or whatever his name was, left Burger Palace, whatever the fuck it was called. And then he made
Burger Palace, he did.
Yeah, then he made his own school, right? With his own...
Yeah, Mensis is a school.
You're talking about the dream school that you go to
right.
just before stepping into either of the Nightmare Frontiers, right?
Yeah, it's the lecture room with all the cages on the heads, yeah. That's what I was thinking.
The scholar putty gross puddle ghosts.
Because I guess what I thought is I thought those guys commissioned the early hunters to suppress the plague. That's what I thought, but I don't know. I think I got some shit mixed up. All good, no worries.
Well, no, there actually was some of that sort of thing going on, but I don't think it was Mensis that did it. No, but yeah, Mensis was a school.
Okay.
We just never go there to a real one in the game, as far as I know. I don't think so. I think we only are ever in a dream of Mensis. Whereas, like Bergenworth, we go to Bergenworth. It's there, and it's fucking hopping. Business is good, clearly. Man, my nose is fucked up. Okay. What was that? Was that Tim's?
Yeah, it was mine.
Yeah. He said Mensis, and it wasn't Mensis. Okay, we know where it was. D4, you're up. What's your category?
I'll do the lore that kills.
Lore that kills. Okay. Boom. Lore that kills. Finish. Mother. Complete the quote. The password is... It's actually not complete the quote. Just tell me the password.
The password? You want the password?
The password is...
Fucking shit. Give me...
No Googling, dude.
Fear the Old Blood?
Fear the Old Blood. There it is.
I'm gonna Google that shit. I just had to make sure. I'm like...
Boy. Did you know that one, Tim?
No, but it makes sense.
Like dead skeleton dude that's sitting there and you can't get through the door until you tell him the password, but he's dead. Okay, who's up? Tim's up. What's your category, sir? Tim's muted himself. And,
oh, damn. Plague-ridden rats.
Plague-ridden rats.
My mouse double clicks. You have to plink it.
It's plinking.
3 feet.
That shit. Gotta fucking buffer that shit. Where's What did I just pick? What was that number? That number, okay. And you said plague-ridden rats?
Yep.
Okay. Of the citizens offering shelter during the hunt, how many are genuine in their desire to help?
Is it a real number?
Yes.
Repeat the question.
There are two NPCs that are offering shelter to people around that need it during the hunt. There's two people, and they're the people that you can send people to for shelter. How many of those people are actually wanting to help the cause and wanting to help people?
I only remember one. That's the only one I can recall, so I'm going to have to say one. I'm sure it's more than that, but
one is the
all I
answer.
can-
You're right.
Oh, shit. It's the puddle dude, right?
It's the puddle dude.
Okay. A lot of ones here. Okay, interesting.
Listen. Don't overthink it, dude. I came up with this game. Don't overthink it. All right. D4. What's your category?
Win in Yarnum.
Win in Yarnum. What the hell is this? Oh, I spelled this wrong. Oh, whatever. I know what I meant. Boy. In which location are super gross snake balls found?
Forbidden Woods.
Yep.
Damn, even I knew that. Fuck.
It
I knew that from the memes.
was an easy one.
Wait, what means?
Oh, it was, I'll post it.
Wait, you got memes, bro?
Bloodborne memes are like the best shit.
They are pretty good. I've never seen that dog meme ever. It's really stupid, but it's funny.
Yeah.
Okay, just so you guys know, the score is 8-5. D4 is up.
I have 8 already?
Yeah, you do. Cheating bastard.
I'm Googling all this shit.
And Temp is up right now. What's your category, sir?
Chalice Dungeon RNG.
Chalice Dungeon. Was that yeah, it was, okay. Temp.
Yep.
In what area of the game do you encounter and fight ghost enemies?
Canehurst.
You are correct, sir.
Yes.
Good shit.
Well done.
Well, I remember because I tried to climb the ladder and that stupid ghost bitch would shoot me with a poison like dart.
Yeah, she will. She will open
And
her
that
ass
scream,
up.
that banshee scream, oh my god. I kept dying against Ligarius, so I had to hear that scream so many fucking times.
Canehurst is such an awesome part of the game, but it's got some of the most... If you die to Ligarius, that getting back up to Ligarius again, Jesus.
Yeah, that shit's annoying.
That is one
It's
of the,
like a
like...
minute.
You gotta fucking, like, tightrope around the side of the corner of the castle, and you gotta hop down, you gotta take a left, and you gotta fucking, like, shimmy.
Dodge the gargoyle.
It's like,
Yeah.
Hey, Zaki, what were you thinking?
Dude,
Man.
that was a hard question because I was like, don't say Ligarius, don't say Ligarius, don't say Ligarius. So, like, Canehurst. Like, I had to
You
force
nailed
that
it.
shit out.
You nailed that shit, dude. What the fuck? I just saw this stupid ass meme you posted.
That's
Okay.
the answer.
it's ooh, snakes. Who's up? D4 is. D4, what's your category?
Yeah, I'll take Lore That Kills again.
Okay, Lore That Kills. Boom. No, I gotta re-roll. We're getting down to it. We're done some of these questions already. Man, we've done that one too. You guys really like lore. It's weird. We do a gameplay podcast. You guys are just dogpiling on this shit. Okay, here we go. D4. What information is given about the player character's location of origin?
Oh, shit. Damn.
Some might call this answer a little bit of or this question a little bit of a trick question. I don't think it is, but, you know, what I will reword it to say, what do we know about the character's origin, location, whatever.
I can't remember much, honestly. I know he's just going there to search for pale blood, but I know there's something. It's just I can't remember it. It's a good question.
You gotta say something. Like, what's all you know about the main characters? Like where they're from.
All I can say is that he's there to search for pale blood. That's all I remember.
Not what they're doing.
Why they're there to get healing?
No, and no, not why they're there. What do we know about where they came from?
I
Not
don't
why
know.
they're here.
I don't know.
Dude. Okay, well, listen, I will allow a pass if you don't know.
No, I genuinely don't know.
Okay, he doesn't know. He does not want to hazard a guess. He's going to open up for a pass. Temp, do you want to intercept?
Pale blood?
What the fuck does that mean?
I don't know. Doctor's visit? I don't know, dude.
Maybe. You guys are both giving me a lot of, like, what they're doing.
He wants to be a hunter?
Like, why they're in Yharnam, and that's not what I'm asking. I'm asking, what do you know about where the person came from? Anything.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I don't. Hat?
Okay, you guys are gonna maybe I'll I'll take this one on me. Maybe I should do that.
What's the answer?
I failed this question. The answer was they're an outsider. They're not from Yharnam.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
That is all we know about the player character's origin. You're an outsider. And that's a big deal to Yharnamites. That's a big fucking deal. They're like, man, they're racist in Yharnam.
No, that's true. I mean, that makes sense because he goes up knocking on doors and shit. No one will let him in. It's like, they're racist.
You know what? I guess I should give this to D4 first, since it was originally his question. I will offer a backup. What is the first, it might be only, but I'm not going to say only because I'm not 100% sure, but definitely the first and most prominent character that is also an outsider that you meet?
In Central Yharnam?
I'm not going to tell you where they are. It's big. I mean, it's an NPC. I'll say that much.
Yosefka?
I don't think it's Yosefka. I'm going to make sure, though. If it is Yosefka, I'll give it to you, but that's not who I was looking for.
What was the...
Luckily, I know what I was looking for.
Well, I would say either Yosefka or Gilbert. But, I don't know.
You can't say or.
Those are my best guesses.
I'm about to tell you 100% for sure whether you're right or wrong right now. It's also fucked up because there's two Yosefkas.
That's true.
I'm
talking about the one you meet at the
yes,
store.
I assumed you meant the real Yosefka.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so, and that's what I thought too. No, Yosefka is not an outsider exactly.
Yeah, that's also.
So the correct answer is Gilbert.
Okay.
Tim, do you remember him? The guy at the top of the ladder who was sick in the window?
No, I remember something like that, but I don't associate the name Gilbert at all.
I didn't expect anybody to remember Gilbert. I was thinking about him earlier whenever I was playing through the game to refresh. I was like,
I remember Gilbert.
I gotta go find that guy's name. Who's Gilbert? He's sick. He gives you that flamethrower too if you keep talking to him. Yeah, but he's obviously sick. And then when you come back later on, his window's busted out and there's one of those monsters up there right next to the lamp.
Cool.
It was. That was a sick.
He drops a rune and shit.
Gilbert.
Gilbert's the fucking MVP.
You're that fellow outsider.
He's the only one that will fucking talk to him.
He is. He's a nice dude.
Yeah.
Whatever it is you seek it will do more harm than good. I like that guy. He's sick. So both of you suck. Neither of you get any points. And
It's an or Gilbert.
you can't say or.
Bullshit.
You cannot say or. That is not how this works, sir. You don't get two possible questions or answers. Okay. It's Temp. It's back to Temp. Temp, what's your category, sir?
Lore that kills.
Lore that kills. God, you guys love some lore. I'm going to remember this for fucking next time. You guys just dogpile that shit.
Lost Bloodborne edition. Yeah.
Okay. Complete the quote. Blank the old blood.
Fear.
That's a shitty question.
What was it? Was there an answer in there?
Hashtag fear the old blood.
Okay, there it is. Boom. Well done, sir. See?
Thank God for memes. That's the only reason I'm getting any points.
Well done. D4. What's your category?
Fucking plague-ridden rats.
You plague-ridden rats. I should make you guys say your category in an accent. No, I don't want you to do that.
Yeah, I'd be bad at that.
That's for the lightning round whenever you have to make me laugh with how bad your accent is. What'd you say? Plague-ridden rats.
Yeah.
RNG's your friend, man. You're getting the dick stick like a lot
I'd re-roll
tonight.
it then if it's like a baby question.
It is a very baby question.
I'd re-roll it.
That feels unfair. It's against the spirit of the
No,
game.
I give it to him. That's fair. I just got fear the old blood. You can take a baby question.
Really, old blood's pretty baby.
It is. It is really baby. Listen, that's kind of that's how it works. There's easy ones and there's hard ones in here. I'm not gonna make them all deep cuts like fucking who put Abritus where she is.
Well, I'm confused. Is he getting a baby question or is he not getting a baby question?
He is getting that baby question though.
Oh yeah, he should get the baby question. I think that's fair.
Yes, absolutely. I'm not breaking the game. God damn it! Just because it makes it more interesting. I'm not into that. Ethics. Okay. D4. Which boss blocks the path connecting Central Yarnum to Cathedral Ward?
Blocks the path.
What's the boss that's literally standing between you getting to Cathedral Ward when you're in Central Yarnum?
Okay, then Gascoigne.
Gascoigne. Good job. It blocks the path. What are you talking about?
Well, they originally had Cleric Beast there, and you were supposed to go through that door, but...
Dude.
Yeah, I would have thought Cleric Beast, actually. I honestly thought that was the Cleric Beast, but...
You guys both would have got that shit wrong? Well, I mean, no, D4 didn't, but... No.
But I mean, the Cleric Beast is literally on a bridge, yeah.
Yeah, he does block the path.
Well, no, I mean,
he still can't get there.
He's very large.
He's an optional boss. You can just don't even have to fuck with that guy.
Is that true?
Yeah, 100%. Cleric Beast is 100% optional.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
He's the boss most people run into first.
He is. He's the boss most people run into first because it's it's kind of a trap, but it's a cool trap.
It's tight.
But you can't get to Cathedral Ward from where the Cleric Beast is at all. You have to go the other way. Whose point was that? That was...
Oh, it was down for us.
Down 4. I think I just gave Timp the point. Sorry. Listen, I'm trying
What's
to keep
the
up.
score?
You guys fucked me up so bad. Right now it's 9-8.
Interesting.
You guys are doing well. I had a special mechanic in place in case it got to a point where it needed it, but you guys are closer than I thought it would be. Wait, who's up? Timp?
Me, yeah.
Okay, go for it. What's your category?
Chalice Dungeon RNG.
Chalice Dungeon. Timp. What do beast blood pellets do?
This is especially difficult because I just played Sekiro, where I have healing pellets. So I'm trying to think.
And, I mean,
Are they Berserker? Is it a Berserker effect? That's my final answer.
Like a strength buff? Or
Yeah, it is
what are you
a
asking?
temporary buff, yes.
What sort of... Well, it depends on what you're buffing.
Damage?
Will I accept a damage buff? I think so. Would you accept damage buff?
Judges?
D4, would you agree?
Yeah, there's more to it, but
I'll double check. Yeah, there is definitely more to it, but it does indeed increase your damage output, along with some other things. So,
but is it like a berserker mode or no?
It is not a berserk. Well, no,
it's not like a berserker mode, but you get pretty more damage from it.
Well, let's say more. What is it?
Well, it's like you take more damage at the cost of like doing more damage, so it fills up like this meter faster. This like the whatever it's called, the beast meter, or whatever, and you do more damage, but at the cost of like you get bodied if you get hit. So it's sorta, yeah.
I'm gonna read you what the actual what the wiki says. I use the wiki a lot for this, by the way. I'm just gonna cite my sources. The Bloodborne official, unofficial wiki. These fucking nerds, dude. Okay. Beast Blood Pellet. Grants temporary beasthood for 60 seconds. As the meter fills, the damage you deal increases, but the damage dealt to you by others also increases. Only physical attacks are affected by beasthood, cannot be used while other personal buffs are active.
Well, to add context, the reason why I think I was like 70% on there is because Berserk in Final Fantasy is something very specific. It means you do more damage, but you no longer get to control your character. Your character now auto-turn.
That is
so
not
you don't
the case
take
here.
more damage, but there is a drawback. You get a damage buff with a drawback.
Which is not what this is.
So yeah, I'll leave it to judges.
No, yeah, you're getting the point.
Sick.
It is a damage buff, but it just also is a temporary nerf to your defense. Man, is that a tie? That would be a tie. Because I said, yeah, you guys are tied. D4.
Win in Yarnum.
Win in Yarnum. Okay.
Let's go.
Okay. Fuck. You come across a faint melody being played on your way through Central Yharnam. What sort of object/instrument is playing this melody?
Fucking all over Central Yharnam?
I mean, you know how rare music is in this game.
I'm trying to remember. Like,
I like to guess if you don't know.
If he passes, you can get it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll just say a music box. I don't know.
Yep, that's it. It's a music box.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. I was gonna say an organ.
An
That
organ?
makes sense.
An organ.
Sort of.
Where was there an organ?
I just remember walking by an organ. It may not actually be there. I can't
I
remember.
don't know. I feel like there's one at some point.
There might have been, but the key there is like there's a melody playing, which the organ doesn't play. I don't think
That would have been tight.
that would have been tight. That would have been really sick. But no, D4 gets the point. He said music box, and that is the thing. Okay, temp category.
Lore that kills.
Lore that kills. Okay. Boom. Temp.
Yep.
How long does the hunt last?
One night?
One night it is.
Good shit.
Never Googled anything so fast in my life.
Execution's on point. That was clean. A night of curses, a night to remember. Those crazy ass bitches.
Well, I just remember when I watched the YouTube endings and he wakes up, I'm like, he wasn't sleeping 2 nights, you know?
That's
No,
true.
who would do that? That's crazy talk. So wait, who is it? D4. D4, you're up.
Plague-ridden rats.
Plague-ridden rats. Okay. Ooh! I like this one. And I'm glad you got it too. D4. Where do you find the man searching for shelter that has already turned?
Oh, It's on like the the windmill thing on like the rooftop in the Forbidden Woods.
Forbidden Woods.
Like, eating the people, yeah.
That is exactly who that motherfucker is and where he is.
That dude's fucking awesome. Yeah.
You will fuck you up, dude.
Dude, he's knocked me off that shit before. Like,
hell yeah, he doesn't fucking knocked you off that shit. Have you ever fought him in Cathedral Ward?
Yeah, I have. I was surprised too. The first time, like, he was just waiting there for me. I'm like, oh fuck.
Do you know who we're talking about, Tim? Did you ever see him?
I do. I never encountered him, and thank God I didn't, because I would have hurt all those innocent people. But, yeah, and it's funny because I explored the woods pretty thoroughly. I never encountered him, so I was kind of surprised by that. But yeah, he's the asshole who kills all the Sanctuary members, right?
Yeah, if you send him there. If you send him to Yosefka, Yosefka turns him into an alien.
I would have definitely gotten that question wrong.
But, like, if you hit him in the Forbidden Woods, he'll change, and it's just a fight that you have to do. And it's
I didn't know that, actually. That's cool.
Yeah, if you go at him and you hit him, he turns into fucking, he's a Dark Beast. He has
a mini boss battle.
Yeah, he is a mini boss.
And it's like a fighting game stage you're on. You're all, like, on the rooftop.
And you can get ring outs and shit. Dark Beasts are fucked up. I mean, they're cool, but they're annoying. They're, like, Dark Beasts always have electricity shit going on. That's kind of their thing. I believe that's how they designate them. There's
a Bloodborne fighting game he should be playable, because he's got that wind shit, too. Like, he sends...
Oh, yeah, he does. He's like fucking Thor, Raiden, and Fujin put together and shit. Okay. Temp.
Plague-ridden rats.
Hold on.
Oh, okay.
Right now the score is 10-11. Okay. D4 is within 2 points of winning, because first to 13, PL rules. You have an opportunity here, if you would like, to challenge all the marbles and get a fatal blow. I'm not going to tell you exactly what the situation is, but it is a head-to-head type of question.
I'll take it, because I think Down 4's got this, just based on the ordering at this point. So yeah, I'll accept that challenge.
Temp has just hit his fatal blow. Gentlemen.
So how's it work?
I'm about to explain it. This is a contest of speed. Get your hands ready and on the keyboard.
Okay.
I will ask a question, and you will both type the answer and press send in the chat.
Okay.
And whoever I see first and it's correct takes this whole motherfucking shit down. Do you understand the rules?
Okay.
Yeah.
You're going to say okay. All right. Now listen, just in case you guys want to contest this after we're done, fuck you. Because it's right, it's correct, and I've got myself and Google to back it up. Ready to fucking type? Here we go. How many mandatory bosses are there in Bloodborne?
Fuck.
I've already typed my answer, so I'm just going to search it.
Oh, okay.
D4, would you put a fucking answer in the thing?
I'll fucking think. Hang on.
God damn it, dude. What are you doing? God. Scrubs.
I don't know the answer.
Shit, hang on.
D4, dude. This is like lightning round shit. You're not supposed to be sitting there fucking Googling your fucking brain. Oh my god.
Yeah, I think it's 8. I think about it.
I wish I had screen capped the chat. Just to put that video up during the show. I think it's 8.
Is it really 8?
The correct answer is 7.
Oh,
wait, really?
The 7 mandatory bosses are Rom, Father Gascoigne, Vicar Amelia, Burroughs Wetners, Mikolash, The One Reborn, and the Shadows of Yharnam.
Okay, wait, hang on.
Do you want me to say those again?
Yes.
I told you can Google this shit if you want to contest it, but fuck off. Rom.
I just Googled it, you're right.
Father Gascoigne, Vicar Amelia, Murgo's Wet Nurse, Mikolash, The One Reborn, Shadows of Yharnam.
Damn. That is crazy.
God, I really didn't think that you guys would fuck up that bad.
Oh, I was counting the witches. I totally forgot the witches weren't.
Why would you count the witches?
I forgot I wasn't fucking required because I do it the first time on the first playthrough every time to get the fucking rune thing.
I guess we have to go again because you guys both whiffed your fatal blows. Jesus
I thought that shit out too. I'm like, fuck.
Spoiler, it's another number question. And I am going to do a timer this time, by the way. 6 seconds. I know, D4. You got to fucking wake up. You guys ready? Get your fucking shit good to go? Okay. 6 seconds on the clock. How many of those mandatory bosses are beasts?
Oh, shit. I was going to put 3. Wait, no. I don't fucking know.
Answers are in. I can't make my alarm stop. You guys both answered the same again.
I'd like to remake my answer.
You can't. Sorry, bro. The correct answer is 2, you motherfuckers.
Yeah, I forgot.
Oh my god. This is unexpected.
We're both one off each time, so.
God, you guys are oddly evenly matched in the wrong ways too. It's pretty surprising.
Yeah, I've never been a quick thinker. Like I had to fucking think.
That's part of the thing, dude.
We might just need an easy one and let that be the tiebreaker. We may need another Fear the Old Blood or another Lovecraft.
I'm not giving you Lovecraft again. That shit's fucking whack. Fucking Lovecraft. How much seafood is in this fucking video game? This one's not a number. You're gonna have to use letters this time.
Okay.
The question is, I'm pulling my timer back out, and I'm gonna give you guys 10 seconds. Cause, man,
6 is a little short, dude.
You guys were slow as hell. I'm gonna give you guys 10 seconds. Here we go. What or whom can you use should it please you? We have a winner.
I didn't think about it like I was like, what?
Oh man.
That was a good question. That was the fantastic question. I will give you props on that. I will surrender my trophy.
Winner is D4.
That was close.
D4 is the magical squid in the sky for this episode. I don't know.
As soon as I started typing, like he started typing too, I was like, oh shit. If you hadn't typed you could have won. I think.
He got you. Listen, you gotta lab that shit, dude. That's right. It's a good strat. You gotta optimize that combo, sir. Man. D4, the great one. Well done. We have smooched this game's ass pretty hard thus far, and there's definitely problems in the game. Tip, what do you like? What's some criticisms you have about the game?
The grind eventually became useless, which a lot of hardcore players are going to say that's not a criticism. Here's why it bothered me. There were times when I genuinely did not know where to go. So I ended up killing shit going back and forth, and I felt like I wasn't getting rewarded for that anymore. So that started to become frustrating to me. One of my biggest pet peeves about video games is when they actively waste my time. In Bloodborne, waste a bunch. Oh man, the loading screens. I didn't even think about that. That's probably the worst part of the game by far. But
that is a thing, yeah.
Gosh, how many fucking days I've lost to watching Bloodborne post-death loading screens. Yeah, but just the grind became useless. I feel like once you get past like level 40. Like any level up you get is just like a gift shop coffee mug at that point. It's not really worth it.
I agree. Yep, I can definitely see that. What about you, D4? What's your bitch calling for Bloodborne? What do you think?
What are you leaving behind?
Yeah, a lot of people do dislike the grind, especially with like blood vials and shit. That does get annoying on like certain builds and shit. That doesn't bother me too much though. Biggest complaint, honestly, like, it's not, like, a really big complaint, it's just going through the game again. It is, like, really drab at times, like, just going through, like, cathedrals and shit, and there's not as many as, like, Dark Souls 3, but it's still those kind of get old after a while, just looking at the same type of aesthetic, which the DLC brings in a lot of new shit, so that's not like too much of a bother for me. Other than that, though, it's like I can't think of anything off the top of my head right now. I wish there was like a restat system where you could like reselect.
A respec, yeah.
Yeah, respec. That's what I meant.
Yep.
And I don't like the blood gem system at all because one, it makes PvP like super unbalanced. Like you just get the best gems and
PvP
it takes forever in the Chalice dungeons. I don't want PvP,
Dude.
but it's like for people that want to do that. That's a terrible system. And also like, just I don't want to fucking grind for these dumb gems for my weapon. It's like, oh, you have to kill this boss like a million times until you get like the right 27.2. But like, oh wait, there's like a fucking downgrade. It's like it adds like it like degrades your health for like 10 seconds or some shit. It's like it's so stupid. Like I really wish that wasn't in the game. And I wish Chalice dungeons overall were better because they're clearly unfinished. They're a good idea, but at the point in the game right now, they're the most unfinished content. So that would have been nice if they actually were able to finish that and flesh it out.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's like, yeah, that's pretty much my main complaints.
What about the 30 frames per second?
Ooh.
Yeah, that sucks too. The frame rate, yeah, that's the blow up.
Ooh.
This game should have... So Dark Souls 3 got a patch for PS Pro that launched it up to near 60 frames. So I don't know why the fuck they didn't do that for Bloodborne, which is like one of the best-selling PS4 games.
That's one of the things, like, all I can think of with that is, like, what's the odd man out? What's the difference between those two games? And it's Sony. Like, Sony owns Bloodborne, the IP. Or at least co-owns it. And has a lot to say over it. Namco ain't got shit to do with Bloodborne. But that's...
I do not want to see this game end up like Demon's Souls, where it's stuck on the PS4 and never gets ported to another console. That's the dumbest shit to me.
Yeah, that is that is a concern. But like, as far as the... Like, you would think it being like half Sony, it would be like a no-brainer to get it PS Pro upgraded, right? Like,
yeah.
You're already halfway fucking... It's their console. It kind of helps them sell their own product, so it's like... I don't know. It's a weird situation. It's one of the... I feel like this whole console generation, like, that's going to be one of the big things. People are just like, what the fuck? I still have to run through, like, 4 frames per second old Yarnum.
At the start, it goes so to shit.
It's like, man, like, this is, like, it's absurd. It's comically absurd. Like, why is this still a thing? Why can't Sony put money into their own game for their own cool console? I don't know. That's fucking weird. But yeah.
Also, even when you're fighting like Bloodstar Beast, it's like he sprays everywhere and it fucking dips to like 15 frames.
It does that all the time. Whenever the baggers goes like Super Saiyan, dude, the fucking game, it's...
Oh yeah,
it
yeah, you're right. Yeah.
It fucking stops for a second and they're just... And that pink shit is so hard to load on screen. Like, what are you guys doing?
It sucks anyway. It doesn't even look cool. Like,
it doesn't. It
should have just deleted that.
It opens up, like, it kind of makes the dude easier because it gives you a minute to like run up and get a backstab if you can do it inside the 2 frames per second. Man, yeah, that.
Oh, and cocktails too. The Molotov cocktails when.
Yeah, that's true too.
Dudes in the Forbidden Woods are throwing them.
There's definitely a lot of particle effect trouble in there. I gotta watch out when I'm playing through Sekiro, see if they got any better.
There are certain points like too where like it just the game doesn't look very good because it has this like I forget what it's called. It's like chromatic aberration or something where it just makes the game super like I don't know. It looks really weird at times. Like they should have just not had that on because graphically it's good. Like the art style makes it look even more amazing.
Yeah, it does.
It could have looked a lot better.
Now, okay, Bloodborne came out before Dark Souls 3, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Because, listen, I don't want to get blown up by anyone, and if you do blow me up, I'm not going to give a shit. Dark Souls 2 looked like ass to me. And it's... I
don't think anyone disagrees with that.
I think it still looks like ass. Like, I got it on... I got the fucking... What is it called? The Scholars of the Worst Sin edition. I bought that shit for the Xbox One, and it still looks like ass. I played on the last gen. It looked like ass there too. And in my opinion,
it is also 60 frames though. Like that's the best part about it. Is, like it does look worse, but it is 60 frames.
Dark Souls 2?
Yeah, the Scholar of the First Sin edition. 60 frames.
I mean, you would hope, but I mean, like, you know, that's the game itself. Like, still to me doesn't look that awesome, and I don't think the other Souls games have ever looked that good. To be honest, Demon Souls included. I don't think that any of them were like, man, this game is so cool because it looks amazing.
No, that's not the selling point.
But then Bloodborne came out, and it's like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck did you guys do?
Like an HD upgrade.
Dude, man, it's great. Like art direction upgrade, like all this fucking shit. There's all this personality and character and architecture and skyboxes. Like, it's fucking crazy. So I guess I can forgive them a little bit with like these graphical issues. Them like having a learning curve, trying to load all this shit on the fly and stream these areas is tough. But that is a problem. Like, it's crazy. It's absurd frame rate. Tip said the grind. You said, what was your biggest complaint, D4?
The unfinished child's dungeons and just like the gem system and all that shit.
Yeah.
And not being able to respec because builds aren't that amazing in this game. And if you remake a character to like do a new weapon, it's like you have to get a certain point to use that weapon, so it takes forever. It's like by the time I make the character for the specific weapon I want to use, I don't even want to play the game anymore. Like once I get that weapon,
yeah.
So it's like I just have to play New Game Plus on whatever account, pretty much.
For me, it's not even close. Like the biggest.
Oh, that's another thing. Sorry, I do wish there was more new changes with New Game Plus. Like Dark Souls 2 had a lot of changes, like and new items and shit to pick up. There's really nothing in Bloodborne that you can get, and there's no new armors or new like rings or anything like that. So it would have been cool if there was some new encounters with New Game Plus.
Yeah.
I didn't even get items in this game. I didn't get an armor upgrade. I didn't get anything. I wore the same hat from like the beginning of the game.
Yeah, there's no armor.
That is another good point though. Like, I don't think there's that much like cosmetic variety. If you're into fashion soulsy type shit, there's some, but there's not that much. And most
Without
of the time,
DLC, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, DLC does add some cool shit.
Actually.
But I mean, like, especially with how the game works, like you start with everyone starts. You can only pick from these 3 weapons, and it kind of works out to where this thing where like for the first 25% of the game, like everyone kind of looks and plays the same. Whenever you see people playing Bloodborne, like this is just how you have to do the first part of Bloodborne. You're wearing the hunter's clothes. You're using one of those weapons, which is usually the cleaver because it's cheesy. It kind of takes a while for the game to open up into finding different things, which
it didn't. It never did that with me. And for me, it's not even an aesthetic thing. Like, I didn't want to make my character look cooler. Right? My character already looked cool, but I wanted some sort of reward for finding items. Like I said, it doesn't have to look cool. Like, I could have found the Great One's Crocs, and that gives me like a plus 50 like defense. And I'm like, fuck yeah! Now I'm all swole, like killing snakes in the forest. Like,
yeah, you're not
there
wrong.
was nothing like that. You really are kind of on your own devices the whole game. If you're me, because I never got the DLC and I never found it.
That is like like if I'm trying to be like objective and pull my hat on my own ass, like I think that is the biggest problem with the game is that if you play this game without DLC, like it's a different game. Like the DLC adds so much content that's not in the base game. The base game kind of feels
vanilla,
like vanilla, but it also I mean, this is one of those games I think that people can make an argument easily about, like the base game feels kind of incomplete without the DLC.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree.
Or at least not worth like the full $60 or whatever, like the regular price admission. The DLC just feels like the complete experience because you get the beast hood transformation. I think so in the DLC, right?
Yeah, you do.
You get that. You get a shit ton of weapons and clothes and
tentacle shit you can put on, like the cauliflower head.
Oh my god! Yeah, you get so much weird, fucking stupid shit.
Too. Way more armor than like is in the base game. Like there's a lot of shit they just didn't. Like, yeah, that is a problem, honestly. Like, not a lot of weapon variety, not a lot of set variety without the DLC.
But for me personally, I think the biggest thing I don't like about it is I wish there was a way to do New Game Plus, but without it doing the difficulty scaling shit. Like, I wish you could go back to like base stats. All the enemies are base shit too. But you just get to start the game with your weapons and clothes from the last one. So you can, because a lot of the times I want to replay through the whole game like with one of those weapons, for a variety's sake. Like I love the scythe, The scythe is like my fucking shit. Oh my god, I love that weapon. And there's a bunch of weapons like that. Fucking beast cutter is sick as hell. I would love to be able to play through that shit with the beast cutter, but if you're a New Game Plus, it's like this whole thing feels kind of arbitrary because you don't really have anything to work for, like as far as leveling up and just that sense of like progression and whatnot. Like it feels weirder, like trying to level up in New Game Plus and all this shit. I don't like it. So I wish you could do New Game Plus where you're just carrying over your weapons. And all the weapons suck. Take out all the fucking levels up you've done with your weapons. I started them from scratch too. The whole thing. It's just weapons and clothes for the New Game Plus. I think that would be really sick. But I'm not a Souls guy from like, Deep Souls Fundamentals with other Souls games. So that might be something they would get tight about. I don't know. I do know that Souls players take their New Game Pluses very seriously.
Yeah.
I just don't...
That's not something I minded, but I get where you're coming from. Like, you want it to feel like you're playing the game for the first time again, just with, like, the weapon that you want.
It's so weird. Like, New Game Plus just is not that fun for me in Bloodborne. Weapons aside. Like, that's the only thing that, in my opinion, feels like it's incentive. Because, it's just fucking weird running through the game, like, not having to, like, get souls or blood echoes, whatever. In the same way you do your first run through. Like, everything feels more fun and balanced and in whatever in that first run, whereas New Game Plus doesn't. So I usually don't do New Game Plus. I just make a new game and start over again, and then it's awesome. So being able to do that early to get some... to be able to do that and get those good weapons at the start would be awesome, and playing through, like, fight, all the bosses with them and shit. That's why I got... I started fucking around with, like, sequence breaking shit a lot and trying to do a bunch of that shit. Like, skipping Amelia and going straight into the Forbidden Woods and getting some of that shit. And getting cool weapons so I can go back, like, get the scythe before I technically fight Amelia. I think...
Oh, that's crazy.
I think there is a way you can do it. But, I mean, you go to the I think there's a way you can do that. I don't know. You do something. I can definitely get to the Forbidden Woods before Amelia, or even Bloodstar and Beast. You have to fucking do weird shit and walk through walls and mess with game loading and shit. There's a glitch. It's fun, but that just lets me like kind of get other weapons and come back and do more shit. Play more of the game with cool different weapons that and the weapons are kind of what makes the game in a lot of ways.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's fucking
like I said,
giant.
like it was a way better for me on another playthrough just using a different weapon, because like the first 3 weapons are good, but it's like until you get your stride and find like your main, almost like you won't enjoy the game as much. I don't think. Because like there's just a bunch of cool ass weapons like later in the game.
There are, man.
Big fucking wheel of fucking.
I forgot about that thing. Like, man, the wheel is nuts.
The wheel was like the funnest playthrough I did, but also the most frustrating because that weapon's fucking slow as shit. It's not balanced for bosses. Like certain bosses just don't work with that weapon. You can if you're good and you're like so perfect, but not for me.
I forgot my other giant complaint. If I had one other complaint, and I don't know, this one's at least as big as the other one. I wish the gothic horror section of the game lasted longer before getting to the cosmic horror stuff.
Oh, yes! I was just about to say that. Yep. Yes, I agree with that.
I wish we spent way more time in the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde headspace. And
I agree.
Because honestly, it's almost like as soon as you get past Father Gascoigne, that book kind of closes, where it's like these people are turning into the like werewolves. Like it's a werewolf story. It's a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type shit. It's Frankenstein's monster, which is cool. Like I wish you could do more of that. And you're fighting enemies that are struggling with turning and shit for longer. But once you get into Cathedral Ward, immediately like insight becomes a thing, and you're fighting those the big guys with the sticks and the lantern, the white clothes and shit,
and the servants. Yeah,
and like they get really buff with insight. Their fucking eyeballs start glowing on their lanterns and all that shit.
Yeah, those are fucking annoying.
And to me, it's like I really wish we could have just waited longer before diving into the Lovecraft part of the shit, because that gothic horror part is what's so fucking cool. And everybody says it. Like, everybody, I feel like, is like, man, I want to be in the city more. I want to be in Yharnam more in this game. I don't want to be running around the woods or the Nightmare Frontier anywhere near as much as I am. Because Yharnam is sick. Old Yharnam or Central Yharnam, like whatever's in the city, all over, rooftops, all that shit is really tight. And I think they kind of cut the wheels off of the gothic horror section of the game, and rushed into cosmic horror a little too fast for my liking. It's not that I hate it. No, go ahead.
Well, to me, like, it's not even that the two kind of blend together. Like, the werewolves, I feel like they're just gone until you get to certain bosses. They're just not there anymore. Like, for me, to me, it felt kind of like a betrayal. Not personally. I do like the Lovecraftian stuff, but before this game came out, it was marketed to me like as the werewolf game.
Yeah.
Like, you want to fight werewolves? You should.
I mean,
check
it was
out
called
Bloodborne.
Project Beast, which, you know.
Yeah, so.
Well, that's a twist, though. That's like
It's a
where
twist.
it transforms like halfway through.
But imagine you're watching like The Sixth Sense and they reveal the twist like 20 minutes into the movie.
Yeah.
Like, it just
I mean,
it changes the movie.
well,
Yeah.
I'd argue that it doesn't at least get to that point until really after Vicar Amelia. I feel like it still captures that feeling up until then, and then the Shadows is less of that, and then after Rom it gets fucking nuts. But I'd feel like up until Vicar Amelia, at least it goes into that.
Yeah.
Which is
I
like,
feel like it got nuts before Rom. I feel like it to me, it really started to go off the charts with the. Well, anyway, I'm sorry. Continue.
well, what were you gonna say?
Well, I mean, to me, like, even though technically Rom is kind of where the sort of like the star entities sort of come into play, like the enemies start to get weird. And they're just, it's not even like the fact that they're doing the Lovecraftian thing yet. It's just, where are the werewolves? Like,
No, yeah.
I fought a troll. I fought a tall man with a mask. It's just, these things are, I fought a bird. That bird wasn't a werewolf. Like, that's kind of what I'm going at. Like, it's just, there's, to me, before I bought this game, like, I thought it was the werewolf game, and they kind of try to run with that, but it's like, hey, play our werewolf game, and they hold a box that says werewolf game on it, but there's like a tentacle sticking out on the side. So, I don't know. What do you think? Thoughts?
Well, I mean, there needs to be a little more enemy variety than just werewolves, I feel.
I agree, but that's why it would have been so cool if they waited, I think. I think it's like you're like, man, I'm so tired of fighting werewolves. And bam, like the tentacles come out. Like, that would have been better,
No,
I think.
You're right. I think the thing that, like, we're saying werewolves, but it's not just about werewolves. Like, I think the thing that I'm saying, like, as soon as you get past Gascoigne and you're into Cathedral Ward, you kind of start interacting with the church people and the people, like, the higher ups, the people responsible, and, you know, the people that are in charge. And because you're interacting with them, including Vicar Amelia, they actually know what's going on to a pretty decent extent, and that's not fun. Or it's not as fun as you are, like, being a street level person who has no idea what the fuck is going on and trying to just comprehend shit. And, you know, they're killing each other in Central Yharnam, and they don't even know it. I feel like as soon as you get past Gascoigne, it takes you, it kind of moves you up into a different place, so you're not really part of that, like, base level, street level thing that's going on. And as far as beasts go, like, it's not just about turning into werewolves. There's a lot of werewolves in this game, but I would have much preferred to see them have stuff like, you know, fucking these crows were people that are hanging out. You know what I mean? These fucking.
I feel like that extends the old Yharnam, though.
Weird. Yes, that is an old Yharnam. You're right. And I like including. I do include old Yharnam in this stuff that I'm talking about. Well, that does extend there because Jura's there and all that shit, or however you say his name.
I say Jura, yeah.
But, like, that's still, like, that is that base level. Jura is not up on what's going on with, like, fucking the ins and outs of administration and old ones, ancient things, and, you know, eyeballs everywhere. I wish that it stayed more on the street level, like, you know, we don't know what's going on. We're just the poor people, man. We're down here and we're eating each other. And I feel like that's part of the thing that makes that first section of the game so interesting, and that gets taken away, and you get moved into the bigger, higher level shit. But yeah, dude, like the fucking the giant crows on the ground. Like I wish those were people, and you don't find out that they were people until later. And like really push that beast thing. Like people are changing into all these other crazy, horrible beast things because that's still a beast. You don't have to be a werewolf to be a beast, but
that's true.
That's kind of the thing where I'm coming from, and that kind of stuff is what gothic horror is all about. Frankenstein's monster, dude fucking around and creates a monster. Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, the same shit, like all this stuff. I wish we would have like hung out in there a little more before we got into Lovecraft and X-Files. I like the Lovecraft and X-Files shit. Don't get me wrong, but I think the pacing of that twist could have been a lot better and made for a much better payoff. If you had spent more time in that first area not knowing shit and trying to fight your way through the shit as like a no one, whenever that payoff twist does come, it's like, oh fuck, what the hell is this other shit that's going on that none of these other bastards know about? It would have meant more. It would have felt more, in my opinion. But
I can definitely see that. Yeah, I just feel like it extends farther than that. But like, it's important to take note that like Central Yarnum does usually take like a long time for new players. Like it took me like 4 hours to get through it.
Yeah,
but like, I do wish it extended more. Like there's more of the city and like you're trying to find your way to this place. Like it'd be cool if they kind of like located the Central Yarnum part like before or like farther away, so you had to get through more of the city. Like when Gilbert's like telling you where to go, it's like you really have to remember that and like go through these tunnels and shit or something, and then you get to the rest of the game.
No, yeah, you're right, and I think a lot of people would have preferred that. I
just feel like the turning point gets like after like ROM, like the game does take a downhill. Boy. Like like I feel like
that second trip to Yahar'gul, like
it's bad. It's not good.
No,
like it's cool.
No one wants to do that.
I like it. Like I like that the amygdala are interacting now. They're like shooting at you and shit. Like you run down the stairs and they're fucking firing their lasers and shit. Shit's going nuts. But like it's such a frustrating part of the game. And Minzus even more so because of Frenzy and shit. And Nightmare Frontier is like the shittiest fucking area.
It is.
No one likes that. It's ugly. It's shit. Not fun. I skip it every single time I play.
Yeah, I think I've only done the Nightmare Frontier once. Because, but yeah, I feel like that's a common complaint. People like being in Yarnum in the city and shit.
Yeah,
and figuring
exactly.
That shit
That's
out.
Where I'm coming from.
Yeah, and I would have liked that same shit more.
It's just that's where the game like starts to get not as fun. It's like after Shadows, it's like not as fun for me. Then I'll usually go hit up DLC and then like stop playing because that's where I like it the most.
And man, like you can go straight to the Witches of Hemwick after Gascoigne. Like you don't have to do anything else before getting there. I'm pretty sure.
But you have to either buy the 10,000 Blood Echo thing or just kill Bloodstar Beast to get through.
That's what it is. Yeah, you have to do one of those two.
I do dislike that in a way because it's like I don't want to do that every single playthrough. I don't like fighting Bloodstar Beast. I wish I didn't have to. But like that, that's or like use all my souls,
boy,
and like stay really low leveled. Yeah, that's annoying.
Bloodstar bitch is
that's one of my least favorite parts.
It's not fun. I mean, it kind of is fun. I really like that you can run right out of Yosefka's clinic and look down and it's like, oh, there's a Bloodstar Beast. It's just hanging out down there.
That is cool. Yeah,
that's a good segue. So that's your least favorite boss then, overall?
Not overall. It's my least favorite base boss, but my least favorite boss overall is Lawrence. I think he's the shittiest fucking boss.
Okay, Lawrence is... He's the guy that's in the DLC Cathedral where Amelia is.
Nightmare. Yeah.
Okay.
And he's a reskinned cleric beast on fire.
Yeah.
And he has a super inflated health pool. Like on New Game Plus 2, it's so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
How much health he has. He does ridiculous fucking damage. He's not fun at all. His second phase fucking sucks. He's like ripped in half and spewing fire everywhere. There's like no strategy. Like there is, but it's dumb. And it's like a minute 30 like run back to that bitch because you have to wait for like the ball to come out.
Oh god,
it sucks.
Yeah.
He's the fucking worst by far, I think.
Interesting. Are we ready to talk about bosses? Do we finish criticisms?
Let's
go
ahead and slide over.
I actually had more bad things to say about it than I realized. I'm like, well, shit.
Once you open that can of worms, but I mean, that just goes to show like how sick this game fucking is. Because I could wax on forever about all these little nitpicks I have about everything. There's so much bad shit in this game, but there's so much good shit in this game that.
I think if I summed it up, if I just summed up the thing I don't like most about this game is I wish it gave me more of a reward than just a pat on the back sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm like, I wish it could have given me a little something more other than just good job, Tim.
I agree.
That's probably how I'd summarize it.
I would love if you could
good job by the DLC, Tim. That's, yeah.
No, yeah. I was going to say, like, it would be sick if bosses drop weapons.
That would be cool. And like, it does have, like, even enemies, like in Dark Souls, like, drop, like, there's more, like, weapon variety because you get from drops and, like, their items and shit.
Broken sword of a drunken stoner, like, you can pick up this shit. It's not really the case in Bloodborne.
That giant with, like, a fucking, like, ball on a chain, like, what if you could get that shit as a drop or something? Like, that'd be sick.
Oh, the big white dude with that guy is a bitch, dude. There's like, is there only one of those in the game? I think there is.
I think there's only one. Yeah,
and he will fuck you up. But no, I think that would have been cool, especially if, like, it's the same complaint as the DLC thing. Like, if the DLC content hadn't been so like cut off and left out, there's so many weapons in the DLC. If you could get some of those, like, by fighting bosses here and there, like in the regular base game, that would make the whole experience way more interesting. I think that would have been cool.
I agree. Totally.
And you
That's
can
a good point.
mix in some lore shit with it too. Like, I don't know, fucking like the Bloodstarved Beast drops a beast cutter or some shit. I don't know. You could cook up some bullshit, but yeah, that would be sick. And like, well, the Bloodstarved bitch is a bitch, but man, you get the beast cutter. Fuck, I'm going after that. I'm doing it.
Or just like boss variants or something where it's like it's covered in blood or some shit, or like Dark Souls has that where you can like infuse weapons with boss souls or something. It'd be tight if you could get that. For here, it's like Gurman's like enhanced fucking scythe or some shit. Like,
and maybe a lot of these complaints are like chalked up to like maybe Sony wasn't like incredibly super over the moon confident in how the game performed. Obviously, the game performed retardedly good, but
that's why it's probably never going to be 60 frames per second. Is there's just they're not going to get their investment back.
Yeah, what's the incentive? But
that's true.
But before the game came out, like I could see Sony being like, "We're going to be more conservative about this thing, so we can make sure that people like it before like betting the farm and shit." So maybe that's why some of this content was changed up, and a lot of this content was left for paywall type shit later on DLC. I could see that being the case. So again, this is all stuff that would probably be addressed with the Bloodborne 2 if and when it ever comes. It better. Or what will
it'll happen eventually.
Did we move over to bosses? Are we doing bosses now?
Yeah, bosses sound good.
Okay. Are we doing, you said, what was the boss? Oh, Lawrence was your least favorite.
Yep.
We can go around doing our least favorite bosses. Tim, what's your least favorite?
I would say it's kind of a... It's least favorite as in most disappointing, or least favorite as in I thought this boss fight was dumb and I didn't enjoy it.
Whichever one, I don't know, like...
All my choices are controversial. I don't think anyone's going to disagree with me except for best boss. It's the only one I think anyone's going to agree with me on.
It's fine. I enjoy that. I'm looking forward to that. Whichever one left like the most tangible sour feeling in your gut, like whatever.
I'd be curious to hear both.
I'll say both. And I think the one I think I enjoy the least, where I'm like, that was tedious, boring, and I don't ever want to do that again, I would say is Mikolash. I really did not enjoy that boss fight. I hated chasing that guy. Oh no, there's a skeleton, let's run past him. Gosh, it was so tedious. And then he fucking zones you out.
Dude, that guy.
Gosh, it's so boring. I was so glad when that fight was over. It wasn't even that hard. Like, I only spent like maybe half an hour fighting that asshole. He wasn't even that hard.
There is some cheesy tech for that guy. There is some cheesy ass fucking Mikolash tech, but it only works because he's such a bitch to begin with. The dude... I
don't want to chase anyone. No. I don't want... I just want...
But I mean...
Injustice 2. Like...
It really is, dude. Man, that guy's Injustice 2 character.
That's a good choice. I didn't even think about it. Yeah, Mikolash fucking sucks.
He really does. Like, and I can see like Miyazaki over there. Like, yeah, he sucks. He's supposed to. He's a bitch. He's gonna run away from you. He's like the anti-Dark Souls.
Gimmick isn't even
character.
like clever though. It's not even like a puzzle. You just run like to the point where he's at, and then like coax him into the room every single time. It's not. There's no strategy. It's just fucking dumb.
Yeah, it's super underwhelming.
He only has like 3 moves. He like hits you, or he does the fucking call beyond, and then squid thing. Like,
Fucking squid hands,
sucks.
man.
yeah, the auger of Apriatus. Like,
Yeah, he didn't even look cool. Like he didn't go into like final form where it's just like a giant cage or some shit
He
like
got
that.
a bigger cage on his head. Jesus Christ.
that was sick.
He has like arm cages now.
Oh my god, that guy fucking sucks. But I mean, like, then again, like, it's hard for me to knock him. Like, I don't want to fight him either, but I feel like
I like his voice. And I like his
I
personality.
always think
yeah.
his voice whenever he starts talking. What is that fucking
I have
shit
a
he
meme for
says?
Django if he hasn't seen it.
Oh, is it a Mikolash
so
meme?
some say Cosm. Shit like that.
A hunter is a hunter, even in a dream. Like all that fucking shit. To me, he always sounds like David Tennant. It's like,
I can see that actually. Yeah.
like if Bloodborne was a movie, fucking get David Tennant to be bitch ass Mikolash, because he would do a really
Kind
good
of
job.
looks like him too.
He kind of does. Just put a cage on David Tennant. You're done.
But yeah, that's I think the lamest boss. I think I don't know. Are we doing like? Am I going down the hardest as well as the most disappointing, or how do y'all want to do this?
Sure. What do you
want to do hardest as one category?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
We'll go around and do hardest after this one.
Okay, we won't. I won't do hardest yet.
Okay.
Most disappointing, since this is not really a category. I think the boss is cool. Don't get me wrong, but I thought the battle itself was lame. I'm going to say Marigo's wet nurse was really disappointing.
Why?
I actually agree.
I thought it was too easy. I mean, it wasn't that easy. I died a lot, but I mean, it was just super uninteresting, and I didn't get much of a payoff. Like, that is one of the most obscure story points in the game, is what was the baby crying. You have to watch so many YouTube videos to figure that shit out.
Yeah, you do.
So yeah, I just that was really underwhelming. I feel like for such a cool design and so much build up. I mean, that's essentially the final dungeon of the game.
No, that's the final boss, like before Gurman and.
That can be the final
totally
boss.
the final-
Like, that's the final
Yeah.
mandatory boss.
If you refuse to fight Gurman, yeah, that is the final boss. That's actually like more of a common complaint than you'd realize. Like that, everyone complains about that shit because he has like this gimmick where like he'll get like a clone.
See, I thought it was a she, but okay. Yeah,
Well, it's a she or like wet nurse. I was just saying, yeah, but he has like a
D4's
clone
being
where she'll, like,
progressive. And we're like, nope, it's a nurse. It's got to be a chick, bro.
well, fucking wet nurse.
I think it is. I think it is a chick.
I've never called a dude a wet nurse.
It's more of an it,
Yes.
honestly. It has like no
That's
body.
true. It's disembodied, yeah.
Yeah, it does have like such a sick design on like all these arms.
All those arms come out with all these blades is pretty fun. The animations are pretty
like-
fun too.
Yeah, he looks amazing. Or she, fucking goddamn.
Whatever you want
Anyways.
to call it, dude. Listen,
all good.
it's fine.
Yeah, you just stand behind them and attack them, and they can't do shit. They're like, they just like, there's like this attack where they're like stuck for like 1,000
Dude,
frames, just like in one direction.
It's a
You can
Souls
just-
game. You always want to get to the rear. That's how these games
I also
work.
like how we're on they now. We're on the plural.
You say that. Listen, dude. Pronouns.
Yeah. Anyways, they're garbage. Yeah, they should have buffed that or changed them some way because they're like a great one, and it should be like a big boss fight, and they look awesome and cool ass castle arena and shit. But
Wait. Who,
No, it's
what are you
underwhelming.
talking about? Your pronouns are throwing me.
Virgo's wet in there. Sorry. Yeah.
Well,
Do you agree, Django? You seem to
Murder's Witness-
have a shocked response to that.
no, Burger's Witness isn't
It's like a
an
free
ancient
win.
one, though, is it?
I thought it was a great one.
No, like,
Thought so.
I don't think so.
I thought it was.
I
Maybe
think
not.
are we gonna check the?
Well,
you gonna check-
Marigo's the great one, I thought, right?
The great one's a child of the great one.
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah.
This is where you go online, and
Yeah,
they
you have to read Redgrave's shit.
and they tell you what the fuck is going on. I have never heard though that Murgo is a great one, but I'm not saying that she's not because
We can check the archives after.
a lot of this shit's
Well,
hard
she-
to penetrate. But
I would say at the very least, Marigo's wet nurse is a designated like denizen of a great one. I don't think the wet nurse is of this world.
well, but I mean, she's not in this world anyway. Like, it's a dream. So all this.
Okay.
It's a nightmare, yeah.
Well, yeah, it's a nightmare. Like after you kill her, like it's like nightmare slain, and the nightmare, and Mikolash is the host of the nightmare. So like all this shit's fucking going on and whatnot. I don't know. I think the game does not do a great job of like designating like, what's a great one. What's the difference between a great one and an amygdala? And
There's like lesser great ones, yeah, and shit.
Abretus is a great
Crazy.
one. Abretus might be the only great one that like is in the real world that you come across and find.
Rom's like a technical one, like she was made into like.
I think, Rom is
yeah.
the thing that the lore says like every great one loses its child and longs for a surrogate. And
Once everyone get a beer.
it's a good time.
Also, like,
Go on, keep talking.
It's a good time for one. And Rom was the surrogate for Abretus, the surrogate child or whatever. Yeah. You can see there's an altar of Abretus there, right? I mean, altar for
like
Rom.
well, we don't know if it's like Rom or like another thing. It's probably Rom, but yeah,
it's a thing that looks like Rom.
An orphan as well is also like a true great one.
The orphan, yes, yeah, the orphan is. They really didn't explain the One Reborn very well. The One
Reborn's like I think like that's how like Menzies like fucking like started the nightmare. Like I think some shit like that. They were able to like beckon the moon or whatever the fuck moon presence.
I think the One Reborn, and it works with what you said about
All right, I'm back.
Mikolash. Oh, good. We're still talking about lore. I was talking about the One Reborn, and it's like it's not technically a great one. Like Abretus is a great one. Who's fucking man? Abretus is sad, motherfucker. That whole shit is sad with Abretus. There's nothing happy going on with that sad chick in that sad dungeon.
No.
But the One Reborn, I feel like is a pretty good like wrap up tight symbolism for the whole fucking shit. Like the One Reborn is literally people trying to make a fucking great one of themselves and out of themselves, so it's literally like human bodies composing into the shape of a great one. But
I understood it like I thought they were trying to like sacrifice everyone to like fucking like basically I don't know, it was weird. I still don't understand what's going on with that, but like you notice like everyone around there like in that area like there's like it looks like statues but there's, like people like fucking basically just like statued and like yelling and shit and like caved into on the walls and shit like their faces like
it's
that clearly shit got fucked up.
Clearly shit was fucked up around that shit.
And there's like chanting and like screams and like
that place is home of some fuckery. I wish they would have gone a little bit more into that like the normal Yarhargul, like not the nightmare crazy blood sky Yarhargul.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like once the veil's lifted, then you see everything and for what it really is.
Jesus Christ. The One Reborn though, like it kind of maybe I was reading into it, but it looks like the basic general like shape and body type of Abretus. But like obviously with the One Reborn, it's made of like corpses and people and like hands and arms and legs and all this gross ass crazy shitty shit.
It falls out of the sky.
It does fall out of the sky.
I don't know,
dude. Listen, there's squids in the sky
those
too.
chime maidens are there. Like what the hell?
What they're doing? This fucking shit's fucked up.
They had some type of ritual and shit. I don't know.
What were we talking about?
Wait, so is that your boss pick?
Wait a minute.
How do we start?
What were we talking about? Did you say hardest bosses or no?
Well, we haven't started. We're still on
disappointing
worst bosses. Who do you think sucked the most, Django?
Okay. Which boss sucked the most? Man, it's a toss up between two. I would probably say the Witches of Hemwick, just because it's apathy. Like it's nothing. Like I don't feel anything about this, which is kind of the worst thing you want to do. Like if I really just hated passionately the Witches of Hemwick, it would be a different story. But I don't.
I also feel like it doesn't really fit as well as other bosses.
No.
It feels kind of out of nowhere.
It definitely feels not like a boss. It just doesn't feel like a boss. This is not a boss situation. This feels like a group of slightly tougher enemies, but not even that really. And the other one that was like tied with that one is the One Reborn. that boss fight to me just feels dopey and doesn't really stick the landing. But
the only thing I like about that boss fight is like the music and the.
I like the arena a lot, but
Yeah,
you're
the
right. The
arena
boss
is
is
cool.
kind of underwhelming.
the arena is
It is
cool,
underwhelming.
and the gimmick isn't bad of like killing the nurses or the bell ringers lady.
The maiden.
Yeah, whatever. Everyone's nurses in this game now.
They.
Killing the bell ringer peoples is a fun gimmick, but the One Reborn itself is a little like, come on. But that
It could have been better.
whole area is kind of soured for me because I just don't like it. I don't like.
I like the concept. I like I do like how purple it is, and like it looks cool, but it's just the enemies suck, and the fucking One Reborn's not that good.
To me, it's
it could have
like-
been a lot better.
You beat ROM and then it just drops you into this bullshit. It's such like a hard left turn that I don't think works super well. It could have been smoother in some way.
The enemies start like reviving and shit, and there's nothing that tells you that.
That's annoying, and all of a
like,
sudden,
it's just
like that's the first time you see like amygdalas and shit after that, right? After you kill ROM,
if you don't have insight.
Not that that's like a huge deal or anything, but it's still like, I don't know, that area just feels like not like an area. This is not a place that you're supposed to explore. This is an obstacle course that you have to get through.
Well, maybe that's by design. Maybe it's
might
like
be.
supposed to. Well, because it's like you're not supposed to be here. Like this is the first point where it's like the veil is lifted.
Yeah.
This is how fucked up the world is right now. Like you have to get through this shit.
And
there's hunters there. There's
There
that
are,
trio,
yeah.
which is like the most bullshit encounter in the fucking game.
there are a
If you
lot
don't
of
cheese that, then it's bullshit as fuck.
there are a lot of areas that feel like obstacle courses, like the Forbidden Woods, dude.
Forgot about that, man.
The Forbidden Woods feels like a trudge to just you got to get through it. I
do like the Forbidden Woods, though.
But no, I agree. That's what I was going to say. There's some stuff in Mikolash's version, that Nightmare Frontier, that can feel that way. But I feel like all of those you can still stop and explore, and find some stuff that is okay and worth exploring for. But not in that version of Yahar Ghul, not the Red Sky version.
Even Nightmare Frontier, I do wish there was like more of an emphasis on like the nightmare. Like it's just kind of like a castle, and like it's got very like standard enemies. They're just
It's super straightforward.
crows with dog heads or whatever. It's like it's not that different. It's just I wish it was a bit more fucked up and crazy.
Go
and,
this
like,
way
nightmarish.
and get hype about
I
fighting
like that.
Mikolash.
Yeah,
Boy. Okay, well those
I
were
do like how
those
the pigs like will
Uh-oh.
fight the shadows though. That's cool. Have you ever did that where like you'll make them like fucking?
Oh, pigs versus ninjas?
yeah.
I think
that's,
everybody
like-
does pigs versus ninjas.
It's
That's
the sickest shit. I always try and do it because I'm like, who will
that's
fucking
like
win?
that's the best farming place in the game. That's where you
Yeah,
fucking
it is
go.
good for farming too.
What are we on now?
I guess we can do hardest boss.
Hardest boss. Okay, D4, what's your hardest boss?
Hardest boss, just with DLC included.
Sure, yeah, that'll be fine. Or either, yeah, it's fine.
Well, for me, my hardest has always still been Lawrence, but not counting him, Chalice Dungeon wise, the Watcher of the Old Lords, or no, it's a Watchdog of the Old Lords, is the most fucking bullshit thing in the Defiled Dungeon. I fucking hate it. Like when I had my wheel build, I literally fucking couldn't beat him because it's just not designed to fucking play against this boss, and you have half health, and it's fucked. I hate him. And base game, I don't struggle with really any of the bosses. I'd say my hardest was the first time I played through was probably Martyr Ligarius.
Okay. Alright. Ligarius
Base
never
game,
gave
the
me that
bosses
many
really
troubles.
aren't that bad. What'd you say?
Ligarius never gave me that much trouble.
Interesting.
But I do have deep Castlevania roots, and that guy is death. I don't know if you know this,
Pretty much.
but that guy is death in Castlevania.
The thing I struggled with was like I never knew you could shoot the sword at first, so it took me like 10 matches
Oh, yeah,
to
dude.
realize that. So I was like, oh wow.
I never realized that.
Wait a minute, what were we doing? Hardest boss, that's what you said. What's your hardest boss, Tim?
I won't get blown up for this,
No,
but this is
dude,
honestly the one
don't
where
judge.
I wanted to like rip my jugular out of my body and just throw my head against the wall as hard as
Listen,
I can.
D4 doesn't speak for anyone here. Like, his fucking opinion, like, whatever, this game's bosses are dead horde. Like, a lot of people say this is Bloodborne is the hardest Souls game, and they might be right. So there's no judgment. There's plenty of bosses that would fuck people up. What is it?
Yeah.
For me, the boss that gave me the most trouble was the Shadow of Yharnam Bros. Those guys made my day, my week.
Those guys
so
can be
shitty.
assholes. Yeah, dude.
Oh my gosh, I am not good at multitasking. So it's like I was constantly trying to fight someone while watching my own butt, like just the whole time. It was like prison. It was horrible. Like just fucking yeah. So yeah, I really, it was like the worst game of Smash Bros. I've ever played. Only it never ended. I did not like that match, and that might be a me thing, but I don't think any boss made me more salty than those three assholes.
You can do things to ease the rape, like summoning other people to help. Or the other NPCs to help, whatever you want to do, that works.
Eric is actually really good in that fight. He'll fuck him up. And you could also summon the Madara's twin or whatever.
I didn't want to summon anyone, though. I felt like that was cheating, you know? I felt gross about that.
There is an ethical thing there.
But you, honestly, like, I do love that fight because it's like there's no really other Dark Souls fight that is like that. Where it's like, it's a 1-on-3, and it's so interesting to me. Like, the dynamic. And some people honestly breeze through that. But some people also do get super stuck on it, where they don't.
It's not a bad fight. It is very interesting, but man, did it hurt. Man, yeah. that a piece of me is always going to be in that fight that I'll never get back. So
I do like when I'm watching like a playthrough and like they don't get through it as quick, because I think it is awesome when you're taking on like all of them at once and fucking just like the Matrix, fucking bodying like 3 at once. It's sick shit. Like, it's so cool to me. Like that is one of my favorite base boss game fights because of that. And I don't like when people breeze through it because it's really interesting. And the big ass snakes come out and shit.
Man, fuck those.
I like that as your choice.
Parcel mouth like motherfucking shit.
It's not the worst boss to get stuck on.
No, it's not. It's one of those things where, like I said, summoning does a thing where like it makes I don't care if it makes the boss like give them more health or whatever. It doesn't matter. Having someone else there for the boss to look at instead of you changes everything completely. Like that.
I also like it in a way, though. It also like.
No, yeah, I'm not saying it's bad. It's just a big difference. Like if the boss is swinging at a guy that's not you, you're like it's just a whole different situation. It changes everything.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like if there's even just like a little more like distraction, then it makes it a lot easier.
Distraction, like that's plenty to do. Fucking change everything. Same for the fucking rape horse. Is it Lawrence? Is that who that is? That's what you said.
Rape horse? No, Ludwig.
Oh, that's Ludwig. Okay.
I think you can summon Walter for Lawrence as well. I can't remember.
What was I saying? Okay, that was your hardest boss shit, Colin?
That is my hardest by far. There's no contest. Out of the ones I fought. What's that?
Was there any others that you struggled with?
I didn't. Rom was not terribly hard. It just I kept losing to Rom because I kept getting impatient. I don't think Rom is intrinsically that difficult of a boss. I just kept getting impatient, losing my cool. And I went in where I knew I shouldn't go in. I don't think Rom is really, truly that difficult. You just gotta play. You gotta play by the clock.
Rom owes everything to his fucking spider friends. That like diving attack they do, the T-Hawk thing.
Yeah, dude, that is literally
that will kill you. Like if that wasn't there, that boss fight would be easy as hell. It's just that shit. It's like once you get in there, you better fucking know what's on your ass or get the fuck out as fast as you can. Somebody's gonna be dive kicking your ass. I'm trying to think. But there's a lot of bosses in this game. That's fucking people get stuck on the Bloodstarved Beast all the time, dude. And I do too. If you go into that shit and you don't do it right, and you like expend all your resources, like you're, oh man, I'm out of Molotovs. I'm out of
antidotes.
I'm out of what's that shit? The pungent cocktail. Like boy, that boss is a bitch, and Gascoigne can fuck you up too if he feels like it. He's a dick. But hardest boss.
That's early game too.
It is early game.
You don't have a lot of resources.
I think those two bosses are like, you know, the barrier to entry you have to get past.
Bloodstarved is definitely a roadblock. Like, yeah.
I don't know if I fought the Bloodstarved Beast, to be honest with you. I can't remember. It's been a while, but I don't recall fighting him.
Interesting. He was in Old Yarnum.
Oh, that's why.
You didn't go to Old Yarnum?
No, because that jackass kept trying to shoot me with a gun. So I was like, fuck it. I don't need your gun. I don't need your Old Yarnum.
Oh, well, that will do it. Yeah, okay. I was wondering about you going to them instead of Bloodstar, because Bloodstar's...
Well, me and Down4 talked about this extensively. I'm like, dude, is there a way I can befriend this dude since I skipped the whole prison segment? And he said, technically, yes, but I never did it. So I just never did that part of the game.
I was hoping you could, because it's a cool moment.
It is nice, yeah.
Him
when you can go up there and chat with him.
Chill. You learn what he's about and why he doesn't, want to kill him and shit. He's a nice dude.
It is pretty easy to run past his turreteering.
Yeah, it's just like the turret, yeah.
But
his friends is down there too. He'll fuck you up.
Boy,
it's hard the first time for sure. It's a crazy moment though. It's almost like an action moment where he's just shooting you and shit and you run through.
It was cool. I had fun. I'm thinking like the only way I'm going to get past this is if I kill him, but I don't want to kill him. I want to see that part of the story.
Yeah, I remember you having struggles with that, and I didn't want to spoil it, but I wanted to give enough info. But it was.
What
hard.
do you do? You have to go. You have to get bagged, and you have to go to Yarhar Ghul. And
I missed that. I couldn't get bagged anymore. The game wouldn't let me get bagged.
Listen.
Oh yeah, because you passed.
Yeah, that'll happen. You can do shit.
You can still
and fuck up the sequence.
I think you can still do it because you can still fight Dark Beast Parl, but you just have to get through that and then go.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But
there's not another way to get to Yarhar Ghul except for getting bagged, right? Until you beat Rom.
Until you're right.
Yeah, you fight Parl, and that door opens up right into Old Yarnum. You're there. What was I fucking... Oh, I'm trying to think about my hardest boss. Abritas can fuck me up, and always does, if I try to fight her. She's not required, but boy, is she pissed. But... God, Ludwig's hard.
Yeah, Ludwig is hard as fuck.
I mean, it's not creative or original. It would either be Ludwig or the Orphan.
That's fair.
The Shrimp Captain is really tough.
Orphan's close. Orphan, I give a pass to because I actually like the boss fight, whereas Lawrence, I just don't even want to play it.
I think you're right, and that's exactly what I was going to say.
Orphan's slightly less hard for me, and I love Orphan.
Ludwig is one of those bosses that always reminds me of the one thing I don't like about Souls games, which is how do you beat this boss? Just fucking stay inside of it. Get inside the boss and don't leave, and just which ends up looking kind of retarded because you're up the boss's ass the whole time, and it's whatever. That's not the case with Orphan. You don't do that shit. Orphan feels like a fighting game. You're fucking
it's crazy.
It's like doing fucking dive kick shit, and it's got command grabs, weird sweeps.
Orphan's playing Marvel, and you're playing Street Fighter. It's so fun.
It is.
Once he gets the wings, he's flying everywhere and fucking dropping bombs and shit and lightning.
But I like it because you're not getting inside of him. It feels like a fight. He's small. But he has good.
You can parry him too.
You gotta. There's neutral. There's footsies. Man, there's footsies big time.
He's screaming the whole time. Yeah,
he's screaming like a bitch. Yeah, I think I would say Orphan. Orphan's the hardest, but it's not hardest in a negative way. Hardest in negative way would be Ludwig. Hardest in an enjoyable way is Orphan. I mean, fuck Ludwig. He's got sick music, obviously.
You don't like Ludwig? Dude, Ludwig is the coolest fight to me.
Man, whatever. And he gets the fucking magic sword of destiny, and
the sword's the coolest part. That's so sick.
I don't fucking want the sword. Whatever. I don't dislike Ludwig. I like Ludwig's cutscene and the lore and all the shit about him. I just don't like fighting him.
That's whack to me. I love fighting him. It's hype to me when the music kicks in and you're just...
It is hype.
Staggering
they do it right. It's not a bad boss fight. I just don't like it. It's not fun. It's I'm getting inside of him, like I said, and trying to enter him the entire match.
I do wish there was more strategy. You kind of just have to get lucky.
God, he sprays his weird bullshit. This game is weird.
He does spray. That is weird.
Yeah, but yeah.
The whole dynamic changes when he gets a sword and shit.
Yeah, I think he becomes a zoner and shit.
Yeah, he's fucking...
Man, he got that fucking, meteor dive or whatever that shit is in the first part.
That is bullshit. Yeah, dude, he can, one-hit you.
Dude, that shit is fucked up.
You just gotta dodge and hope for the best.
Hope.
I literally, like,
Yeah,
I
it
never
is,
even learned
no.
a strat. I just roll.
And that's
when he does that.
that's pretty much all you can do. You might be supposed to like roll towards him like a lot as soon as he jumps, but I don't.
I know there's like blood that trickles down, so you can like.
Oh God,
There
is
is
that
a
the
way
strat?
to like dodge it. I don't know, but I never learned it.
I
just
can't do it.
fucking roll
But
for the best.
yeah, those are my bosses as far as hardest shit goes.
That makes sense.
Do you want to do favorites then?
We can do favorites. D4, what's up? What's your favorite?
Yeah, just my favorite is a tie between probably Orphan and Ludwig. I like Orphan more because like it's like a true fucking Great One fight where it's just shit's going nuts and he's fucking crazy and like I love the arena too, like the beach and like the water and the lighthouse and shit. Like, and it was especially awesome to me after reading Shadows of fucking Shadows of Yharnam. What am I saying? Shadows over Innsmouth.
Okay.
Yeah.
The lore makes that fight way better. The lore enhances that shit because it's like, man, even just hearing the dudes walking around the fishing hamlet, you know, Buggenworth.
Yeah.
Like, you know, talking about all the shit that was going on here and what happened with the orphan and the great one that waved up here and all the people that lived here, all the fishmen that turned into fishmen. Wait, I'm spoiling a lot of shit. I'm sorry.
Those sharks are bullshit.
Dude, fuck those the whale sharks and all that.
Those are the real hardest bosses. Like,
Man.
those are fucking...
When I got down there and I was fighting that shit and then I eventually looked up, man.
Yeah, the area is so sick. It's like, I loved when I first went there, I like saw that it's like Yharnam beneath the water, and I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? There's like
yeah, that shit is cool.
You never know what that is until like later. It's like planes and shit, but
going down.
Yeah, it was so cool to me.
It is cool that you can see that from the base game Nightmare Frontier. You can catch a glimpse of the DLC shit.
It was really well designed. That definitely, I think Orphan overall is my favorite boss.
Orphan. All right, what about you, Tim?
I would say Vicar Amelia, which is also a boring answer, but
no.
If I'm being honest, that is probably the most like genuine horror movie experience I've ever experienced in a game. Like, the rival would be PT. PT is probably the scariest thing I've ever played.
Ooh.
Damn.
But the difference is, like, in PT, when you peek through the hole in the wall and you see the bathtub and you start hearing screaming and all the shadows moving back and forth, yes, that is really scary. But you don't have to fight the bathtub.
No, you don't.
With Vicar Amelia, like, you see this horrible cutscene and it really shakes you. And then when she looks at you and starts moving, it's like, that is like the most unnerving thing I have ever experienced in a video game.
Damn.
I was so scared and nervous. It's like, the more you die, the less unnerving it is, but when you first fight her, it's also there's an oral aspect to it.
An oral aspect, huh?
Yeah, the noises she makes are just hella horrible. Just like the shrieking, it's like it's human but animal at the same time.
Yeah.
It's just horribly unnatural sounding. Just, oh god, it's a great fight, and the build up, the execution, like the difficulty, it's just a perfect boss battle, and it scared the fuck out of me. Like not like the cutscene, but like having to fight her was scary, literally scary.
I'm gonna have to ask you to keep talking for like 20 more seconds while I watch that cutscene. I just want to remember that intro cutscene because I mean you're right, it's a sick fucking scene and whatnot with her there praying at the altar.
It's the magic of it is kind of what's going to happen if you know the theme of the game. It's like, okay, she's probably a boss, she's probably going to turn into a werewolf. But the way it happens is not something you can picture beforehand. It's very visceral.
Her design, especially, like, with how big she is, and she almost looks like, she has, like, teeth like a fucking dinosaur almost, like, or like a deer, like, it's just, yeah.
Yeah, it's just...
I didn't know you felt that way about that fight. That's awesome.
Yeah, and to me, that's the first boss, the true first boss of the game. I don't really count, the Cleric Beast. I don't really count,
you don't count Gascoigne?
Yeah, Gascoigne's okay, but he feels like a sub-boss to me.
Interesting. Well, I can see that.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with him. He's cool, but I did not... The difficulty... Like, he is bar none one of the easiest bosses, in my opinion.
Interesting. Yeah, that's weird, because a lot of people get stuck on Gascoigne. Like,
really?
Oh, dude.
I beat him on my third try.
Dude.
I took, like, at least 10 or so the first time.
Well, maybe I did, too. It's been a long time.
Man,
He's definitely easy, like, once you figure it out, but I know a lot of people who, like, post on, like, Reddit and shit right after, like, I just beat fucking Gascoigne, it took, like, fucking forever, like, it's, like, definitely, like, that first boss where you kind of have to get good.
That's so interesting. Because until this podcast, I forgot he was even in the game. I didn't know who he was until we did the trivia.
You should play the game for a second time.
Gascoigne's a classic.
He is. He's tight.
He's like Coke. Like, you just can't...
What, do you remember the weapon that you went through on the first time, Tim? Your only time, I guess?
I used the axe at first, and I switched to the cleaver.
Okay.
Dude, it's so funny, because, like, when you answered the question as Gascoigne, I was like, I didn't know the Cleric's Beast's name was Gascoigne. Fuck.
Oh my god.
The shit I didn't know about this game. Yeah, I forgot he even existed. I don't think I spent more than 3 or 4 tries on him.
You know what's really sick about Gascoigne? He's the he's a pretty unique enemy type. Like, whenever he morphs, like whenever he transforms.
Yeah, it's a real footsie game. It's very unique.
Well, I mean, his appearance too. Like, he still has a lot of his, like, humanoid type features and whatnot when he transforms. He's still got his coat on. Like, I don't know. There's something really tight about him. I feel like he's a nice transition between, like, Amelia is, fucking Jesus. She turns into a giant monster beast.
That's unrecognizable.
Yeah, Gascoigne's still, like, you can tell this dude, he's, like, kind of still walking upright and all this shit. He's fast.
He has people clothes on, too, I think.
He's, like, basically the Hulk, almost, like, when he...
Yeah, he is. Like,
you can still, like, calm him down and shit with the box and all that. And...
man, and he fucking fights you like he's a Doomsday in Injustice.
Pretty much. Yeah, he does the fucking, like, the drop from above, like, he'll jump and shit.
Just chill out, fucking dude. So wait a minute. You said your favorite boss was Amelia, right, Tim?
Yep.
Okay. My favorite...
That's a good pick.
He is a good pick. I'm going to have a shitty one, too. People's going to blow me up. Except Amelia's not shitty. My favorite boss in the game... Orphan's really good. And I already said that one. I'm not going to say that one again. Orphan is really good, and it's right up there. What's funny is the other one. There's Orphan, and right behind it is the Cleric Beast. And the Cleric Beast is tight just because of, like, the presentation, and it's at the beginning of the game. And the whole fucking thing where, like, you're just walking down the beach, and he fucking jumps out of Cathedral Ward over the wall, and the music kicks in. Yeah. The choir's like, "Hey, we're here too." And it's a fucking crazy experience, but it's fun. Like, that to me, that moment is Bloodborne in a nutshell. The Bloodborne experience, the Bloodborne vibe, and all that shit, like, all wrapped up into that one boss fight moment. Yeah, the boss is easy and optional, but it's still like, that's like, that puts you in, okay, this is what this game is now. And
yes,
it's intentional. Like, that's why it's the first boss. You technically, like, whatever, geographically, the one you're closest to, the first one you
hint towards it, too. You hear him yell when you're climbing the ladder.
Yeah, you do. You hear that thing the whole way there.
Like, what the fuck was that?
It's just a really tight moment, and that whole thing is really hype.
I do like the boss a lot. I think it looks really good. I think it's a fantastic first boss. But I think my favorite thing about him is the fact that you have to fight him on Pit 1. The arena looks really good.
It is a sick... Dude, yeah, that is a sick fucking stage.
And there's no room to move, so he's just coming at you, and you just gotta fight him. You just gotta fucking,
Yeah, you get your back up against the fucking wall, dude. You don't know where to go. It's also really...
There's, like, shit all over. Like, it's so cramped.
Yeah. It's also sick how, like... Again, as soon as you walk out of Yosef's Clinic, you're looking at the boss fight bridge. Like, that right there immediately is where you're
in the distance.
And that's obviously, it's just Miyazaki level design, him playing with shit. Like, hey, dude, you've been running around for an hour. You ain't gone nowhere. You're, like, right where you've been the whole time. Yeah, the Cleric Beast was fucking sick. That's my pick.
It's a good pick. I think it's an underrated pick. I'm glad you did.
Yeah, definitely. I'm surprised you didn't go Gascoigne because I know you love him.
I do love Gascoigne, man.
Yeah.
I like him a lot.
I didn't know that.
And the lore with Gascoigne, dude. The Cleric Beast doesn't have no lore.
Lore is great.
the fucking Gascoigne lore is sick with the fucking kids, and then everybody. Listen, it's Bloodborne. There's no happy endings. Let's put it that way. There's no happy endings for anybody in Gascoigne's family.
Gascoigne's story is like the most like easy to get into.
Have you ever seen that comic, Tim?
Yeah. Oh well.
I know you've seen it, D4. I'm going to assume that you have not seen the comic, right, Tim?
No, I'm leaning
anime
towards
as fuck.
You should link him the comic.
I'll try and find it.
Yeah, I know you've
Really
seen
anime.
it. It's tight, dude. It's like, boy, the little girl. She's one of the best actors in the game. That little girl at the window, dude.
It's so sad. Yeah, I don't even go there. Like I'm just like fuck it.
Yeah, it's I like getting the music box just to fuck with Gascoigne during the fight, but yeah, you kind of have to master her because it's not nice. So really, will you help me find my mom? Like, listen, it's not gonna go well. Oh wait, I mustn't forget. Here's the music box. Mom plays it when Dad forgets who we are. It's like, oh my god.
Thank you so much and shit. It's like, oh god.
And then you go back. Boy. Going back's even worse.
Well, she can like die along the way too if you like.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Her sister too.
The sister's a weird fucking branch of that story, but it's cool. But no, like if you get the brooch, and then you go back and show her the kid. Oh my god! What? You didn't even post the video?
Is there a video for it?
Yeah, dude.
I've only read the comic. I haven't seen the video.
Well, maybe I'm full of shit. Maybe it is just a comic.
Well, there might be. I only saw that a while ago.
Well, no, yeah. I mean, this is more than adequate. The art's really sick in this shit too. God. She plays it when Daddy forgets us.
Oh, it's so fucking good. I haven't read this shit in forever. It's so good.
Yeah, it's all her lines and shit too. Man, look how sick Gascoigne looks whenever he turns, dude. Look at that. He's still got his fucking what is it, church garb on and shit.
This is good. I like that.
And now you're sad.
Hey.
We're all sad.
Well, that's my kind of sad though. Like that's the stuff I game for.
Yeah, that's a good sad. That's boy. That's again Bloodborne in a nutshell. There's no happy endings in this game, man. Well, how are we gonna wrap this thing up? What's the?
I probably need to get going pretty soon here. That's pretty much all I got.
Yeah.
If I had more, I don't know if I'd want to say because I want to save it for Bloodborne Part 2 podcast.
We all want Bloodborne Part 2. I mean, man, yeah. I don't think there was even anything else on my list. If there was, I don't know. But that was pretty extensive. That was fun.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun, yeah.
D4?
What up?
Well, was this fun?
Yeah, this was awesome. I said definitely. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
Anytime I get to talk about Bloodborne is a good time. I'll talk about it all day.
I love fucking throwing, fucking pebble in the stream of the chat in the Discord and just disrupting everybody. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. Blood Vials? What?
What about Bloodborne? Somebody talking about Bloodborne? Let's talk about Bloodborne.
Moon? What? Oh shit,
boy,
someone talking about
it doesn't take much.
Bloodborne?
Listen, if anybody listening to this, if you guys like the Bloodborne experience here that we've had, and that tight-ass 1st to 13 with these two, who took that, by the way? It was close. It was D4.
Yeah, it was D4.
D4. Like, you guys went, like, triple overtime or some shit with that. Boy, that's pretty hype. Yeah, if you guys liked it, fucking tell us in the comments and the other stuff, and maybe there'll be another one.
After you get over the whole April Fool's line about the beta thing, that is, let us know what you really think.
If you have listened this far, you're over it.
Yeah,
you've gone with us now. It's not even April Fool's anymore. This was just a good idea. Yeah, let us know, and we'll do Bloodborne Part 2 before Miyazaki does. That'll be tight.
Might be a while. So
before Blood.
I mean, there's always we can do other From Software April Fool's podcasts too. We could do a Sekiro one in the future.
We don't have
depends on how much we like the
don't
game.
say that. You can don't talk about future April Fools. It kind of.
I don't feel like we have to wait like a year.
It kind of
like
parries it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Yeah, Sekiro is a good one. Like it, whenever we've all played Sekiro to our satisfaction, we can. We should talk about that one. I hope the follow through is good. I hope that game sticks the landing. It's still too early for me to tell, but so far, ooh man, there's some stuff in that game that makes me very, very, very happy.
I still need to watch your first part of the playthrough.
I
started watching it.
You haven't watched the first episode? There was a bug.
I watched like 20 minutes of it.
Yeah, that's good. That's enough. That's about all, you know. The first one, there was a bug error, so I had to like re-edit it and redo that one. That's why that one's
that sucks.
But it's fine. It's good. The second one has a boss fight, so
nice.
That shit was hard. Listen, thanks for listening to our April Fool's thing, and obviously thanks for liking it because you're still listening. Let us know if you want to hear another one, and we'll talk more about FromSoft games. Maybe get into some shortcut porn. Talk about some of that dank stuff. There's a lot of stuff that we didn't cover in this shit. Talk about lore. Talk about what it means. Talk about the great ones. Like really get into that shit. There's a lot of shit we didn't cover. There's lore. Fuck what Razor says. Yeah, I guess that's it. Thanks for listening to everybody, and happy April Fool's Day.
Yeah, take care, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Peace.
It's all your fault. I don't know what to click. Okay.
This town's finished.